Over the last 3 decades, no Ivy League teams have won more football championships than Harvard and the University of Pennsylvania. Today, the Crimson can clinch their 3rd consecutive Ivy title and 20th in program history. But the Quakers present one of the toughest tests to date for Harvard during its undefeated season. And they're looking for payback after back-to-back heartbreaking losses to the Crimson in each of the past 2 years. A field goal or less has been the difference between the programs since 2023. What will the margin be today? It's number 11 Harvard taking on Penn next on ESPN+. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Tim Murphy Field at Harvard Stadium. Alongside Tim Murphy, I'm Alex Vispoli. We'll check in with our sideline reporter, Amanda Keene, in just a little bit. Well, the objective for Harvard today is simple: win and remain unbeaten and clinch a 3rd consecutive Ivy championship for just the 2nd time in program history. But that doesn't mean that simple will be easy today, because Penn is also still alive for an Ivy title. And, Coach, this game has gone down to the wire each of the last couple of years.
It's never easy in this league, and that certainly goes for playing against Penn. In 2023, Jaden Craig had to execute a double reverse pass in triple overtime to get the championship. In 2024, Harvard down at Penn had to execute down 2 scores in the second half to come back and win it. So never a dull moment against these 2 teams.
And for Penn to score the upset win today, you figure that the all-Ivy wide receiver Jared Richardson will be heavily involved.
Yeah, Jared's he's a dude, as they say in this league, and he's a guy at 6'2", 220, heading towards 1,000-yard experience in terms of pass receptions this year. He's a guy you got to shut down. I wouldn't be surprised if they have to double team him at times.
It's senior day here at the stadium. That means the final regular season home game for one of the best quarterbacks in Harvard history, Jaden Craig.
Well, when people ask me who's the best quarterback in Harvard football history, it's easy to say Ryan Fitzpatrick. Played 17 years in the NFL. His team in 2004 was the first 10-0 team in Harvard history. And I think the reality is that Jaden Craig is going to be one of those guys. He may not be Ryan Fitzpatrick yet, but the reality is he can make all the throws. He has very, very same skill set, and I think this is a kid who will make it in the NFL.
As there always is this time of year, plenty of scoreboard watching in the Ivy League. Not only could the Crimson clinch an Ivy title today, they could also cement the league's first ever automatic bid to the FCS playoffs with a win coupled with a Yale loss at Princeton. Penn has won the toss and elected to receive the opening kickoff. Oftentimes teams will defer, but Penn wants to get that offense out there right away, and so Kieran Core will kick it off to Jaden Drayton. And we've got 8-0 Harvard against 5-3 Penn. Always a big game when these teams meet up in the penultimate regular season game. And here we go from Harvard Stadium on a 45-degree sunny Saturday afternoon. So glad you could join us for Harvard's final regular season home game. This is Drayton from the 5. Penn is such a good returning team, and look at Drayton go across the 30, runs into tacklers and is finally spun down, but not before getting across the 35-yard line. The special teams from Penn, that was one area that Harvard really wanted to limit the return game. So far, check mark for the Quakers.
A check mark indeed. Great field position, 35-plus yards. They'll take that every time on the kickoff.
And so Liam O'Brien, the senior quarterback from Boulder, Colorado, will lead the Quakers dual-threat quarterback. And we've seen it throughout his career. Extremely athletic, was a former lacrosse player, a high-level lacrosse player who was actually recruited to Cornell to play lacrosse. And Andy Orrick says it looks like he's out there playing lacrosse without the stick when he's out there running. Feature a heavy RPO offense, and they go to the air for the first time. It's complete to B.C. Owens, just shy of the 40-yard line. They'll give him the 40 and a gain of 5 for the outstanding wide receiver, who's an excellent running mate to Jared Richardson on the outside.
Shifted formations late and got a 2nd and 5.
Sean Line, the linebacker for Harvard, coming off a terrific game at Columbia last weekend. 8 tackles, his first career interception, and he has stepped into a big starting role this season. O'Brien will run it around the right side, looking for the marker. He's got the first down, and it takes a pair of Crimson to knock him down. A Penn first down on their second play, but a flag comes in at the end here.
Well, Penn came out Penn came out on an empty set, and you know that the only person who can run the football is the quarterback, and he's a good runner. He's a guy that can make plays with his feet, so they can go empty if they get the look.
That was a face mask against the Harvard Crimson defense as Justin Ackley, the referee, called it, and that's going to push Penn into Harvard territory all the way to the 37-yard line. Damaging penalty. And a great opening drive for the Quakers, just 2 plays in. They've got Dante West in the backfield, dangerous running back, and O'Brien will keep it again around the right side. And he'll only pick up a couple, maybe to the 35. It's a 2-yard gainer for O'Brien, who is 7th in the Ivy League in rushing yards as a quarterback.
Well, if you look at O'Brien and you look at their top receiver, they're very explosive athletes.
4-yard gain on the play, 2nd down and 6.
O'Brien, as Harvard jumps offside, free play going for Owens, or Richardson rather, and it's incomplete. He was locked up with Henderson, but it's going to be a free 5 yards as Harvard jumped.
Well, obviously they're moving the ball, and they're going to be in.
Coach, let's take a look at your keys to the game from the Penn perspective today.
Well, first of all, make them earn it. Playing against the best quarterback in Division I FCS and future NFL player Jaden Craig, Penn's defense got to find a way to get off the field. Number 2, keep Penn offense on the field to bleed the clock. That's what they want to do.
O'Brien to the air on the right side. That's Owens, and he'll tiptoe out of bounds, pick up another Quaker first down. It was only 2nd and 2.
And I think lastly, it's next man up. Penn's had their fair share of injuries, and to have a chance of beating this powerful Harvard team, it's got to be a next man up mentality.
Now, they have been ravaged by injuries across the board. A couple of their key offensive players who won't be here today, Julian Stokes and Alex Haight.
Seen a lot of empty sets today. When you have a quarterback that can run, you can certainly get away with that.
5 receivers for O'Brien. He goes to the right side again. It's Owens, and he just snags that ball as Donahoe was bracing to make impact. It's a short pickup here on first down for Penn.
Well, they saw the blitz coming, no question about it. He knew he had to get out of it fast because they had a 6-man blitz with only 5 guys blocking.
Got 2 tight ends on each end of the line with 2 wide receivers stacked up top as O'Brien again will look for the hole himself. Very patient, bounces to the outside. O'Brien has eyes for the end zone, and he's just shy of the goal line. It's a pickup of 16 yards on first down, and the Quakers are knocking on the door of the game's first points.
Great protection, gave him plenty of time to make that decision, and this drive is exactly what they were looking for.
Liam O'Brien has been in the driver's seat on this drive. He's rushed for 27 yards. He's thrown for 17 on this drive. He's got Dante West to his left in the backfield. O'Brien gives it to his running back, and they score! West, a 1-yard plunge. And Penn grabs a 6-0 lead just 3 minutes and 14 seconds into the game.
And again, if you were going to write the script for Penn, that's exactly what they wanted, exactly what they needed against an outstanding defense.
It's just the 3rd touchdown allowed by Harvard in the first quarter this entire season. And now the Quakers will try and add the extra point with Mason Walters, who's 21 for 21 on point afters this season. And make it 22 for 22, a near perfect opening drive for the Quakers as they march right down the field and put themselves in front on the road at Harvard Stadium.
Welcome back inside Harvard Stadium. The Penn Quakers already up a quick touchdown over the Harvard Crimson. And this is nothing new to these two teams. They have battled it out in recent years. Last year, The Quakers were up 21-7 in the third quarter when the Crimson found a way to battle back. Early in the game, it was Jaden Craig that went out with an injury, Harvard's quarterback, and they brought in Charles Tafrima to run this offense. And head coach Andy York remembers the game as a fun one, but mostly he was happy to have a veteran like Tafrima ready to go because he led that Crimson team to a comeback. They scored a field goal as time expired for Harvard to win 31-28. The game was an absolute battle and not one that Penn remembers too favorably. So that is something they will be keeping in mind today. And with this early lead, guys, who knows how it could go.
Yeah, man, you see on screen right now, Sam Smith was the field goal kicker. He missed a 46-yard field goal right before Harvard went on the game-winning drive itself. He's on kickoff duty this season, and he will boot it away to the Crimson. Jordan Harris is the deep man for Harvard, trailing for just the second time all season long. And the kick will go into the end zone for a touchback. And Harvard will take over at the 25-yard line, down 7-0. This is a spot that Jaden Craig has not found himself in terribly often, but I'm sure given what you know and what I know about the Harvard signal caller, there will not be a lot of panic in the mind of number one.
No, I think the bottom line is that what Penn's got to do is they've got to make Harvard earn it. And I said, right now, basically, this is not a position that Harvard's been in all year long, but believe me, they will figure it out.
They throw it out wide to Jordan Harris as they have two running backs in the game, and a 5-yard pickup as John Lista, the outstanding linebacker, brings down Harris, and a positive pickup on the first play from scrimmage for the Harvard offense. And Jaden Craig leads the Ivy League 10th in the country in quarterback rating. He's also among the national rankings in touchdown passes, yards per game. Outstanding senior campaign for the New Jersey native. And he's on the move, looking to throw, finds his freshman wide receiver Ryan Tattersall out to the 37-yard line. It's the 10th catch of the season for the Delaware native, and Harvard picks up a first down.
One of the things they've done well all year long is change the launch points for the quarterback, and you're going to get him scrambling, and you're going to get him behind center, and you're going to get him on rollouts like that.
There is Lista, one of the captains for the Quakers. Last week, 10 tackles and 2 pass breakups in the loss to Cornell. Exavea Bascon made the first man miss and then gets his way to the 45-yard line. What do you see as the keys for Harvard today against the Quakers, Coach?
I think the reality is that they've got to keep their eyes on the prize. Yale's still in the hunt. You've got 2 other teams that are 3-2, so just focus on the task at hand.
Harvard will have 3 wide receivers and Bascon in the backfield. On 2nd and 8. Plenty of time for Craig. Goes to his tailback. Again, he makes the first man miss, and he is knocked out of bounds at the 49-yard line, so a 4-yard pickup. It'll be 3rd and medium here for Harvard.
Good job by Jaden Craig. He looked down the field, didn't like the looks he had, and just dumped it off to the running back, and we're down 3rd and 3 now.
Harvard may be without one of its most important pieces offensively today. Seamus Gilmartin was questionable coming into this game, and we have not seen him on the field to this point, which may indicate that he will not be suited up for this one. On 3rd and 4, need to get to the 47 as that is hauled in by Dean Boyd for a first down in Penn territory. The senior with the grab on senior day to give Harvard a fresh set of downs.
Well, I'll tell you, Jaden Craig makes that throw look easy, but when you're throwing that out cut from the hash, it's that's very impressive.
This is what we were talking about. Harvard has only trailed once this season. It was in the second quarter at Princeton. They were down by 4, and that margin didn't last long in a game that Harvard won 35-14. And right now down 7-0 early. First offensive drive for the Crimson as we're nearly 6 minutes in. On first down, Craig. He's going for Brady Blackburn and just overthrows him. Blackburn got a hand up there. Good coverage on the play from Andrew Bruce, the sophomore from Chariton, Ohio.
Get out of zone, played man coverage on that and played it well. Needed a perfect throw to get that executed.
If there's an area on this Penn defense that Craig would like to attack, it is that young secondary. They had a few guys go down with injury in the preseason in that defensive backfield, and it's a bunch of sophomores and freshmen out there, just don't have the game experience or the physicality that they were expecting coming into the season.
Well, with that young group, they've got to play a lot of zone coverage.
Harris will put his head down, get across to the 34-yard line, and a pickup with 2. Sets up for a 3rd and 8 for the Crimson on their first drive on a chilly but not overly breezy day at Harvard Stadium.
Tough go there for Seamus Gilmartin. He's been one of the top receivers. He's certainly been the best tight end, one of the top tight ends in the league, and that will not be an easy void to fill today.
On 3rd down, the give to Harris around the outside, well blocked. Harris down the sideline, stepped out of bounds at the 21. It's a gainer of 13 for the senior from Ellicott City, Maryland. And the Ivy's leader in yards per rush gets a Harvard first down.
Yeah, great vision by Jordan there. He didn't like the first seam, didn't like the second, and then eventually bounced it out on the perimeter.
Andy Orr called it coming into the season an embarrassment of riches in the backfield between Harris, Bascon, DJ Gordon, Maddox Reed, and Isaiah Bullock. Craig stepping up, throws for the end zone, and it's incomplete for Blackburn. Craig was getting hit as he threw, and it's 2nd down.
Good pressure by the defense for the first time there. Had to get rid of it a little bit earlier, and not the best one they've executed thus far.
Blackburn is the 2nd leading receiver, best numbers among the wide receivers, and doesn't have a ton of catches compared to other top wideouts in the Ivy League, but he is 3rd in the Ivy League in reception yards. As Bascon gets it, gets the hole, trudges his way to the 14-yard line, and a pickup of 7.
Canada's favorite child, Brady Blackburn, has had a tremendous season. I think he has exceeded people's expectations. He is sneaky fast and can catch BBs at midnight.
3rd and 4. They're just inside the 15 and need to get to the 11. So Harvard is marching down the field here after Penn did the same on its first drive. Craig gives to Bascon, and he breaks a tackle. He's inside the 10, a first down and a goal-to-go opportunity for the Crimson. Exavea Bascon, they've split the running back carries throughout the year, so he could be as fresh as possible for these last 2 games of the season.
And both of those guys are very similar runners. They're not that big, but they're very physically strong. They've got a low center of gravity, and they can move the pile. A little bit of hurry up here.
Mickey Fine, the offensive coordinator, never afraid to use tempo. As the give goes to Bascon, bounces to the outside, spins down to the 1-yard line. They'll mark him at the 2. But Exavea Bascon and Jordan Harris are carrying the Crimson on this drive with an excellent ground game.
Going to thank the offensive line up front. They've pushed the defensive line a little bit thus far, and this is a great series for their first time out.
Bascon 21 yards on 4 carries. Harris 15 yards on 2 carries, so the two have combined for 36 on 6. 2nd and goal from the 2. Got the extra tight end in there, Ben Alvarez. And it's Bascon again, pushing forward. Does he have enough to cross the plane? He does! Touchdown, Harvard!
A little bit of tush push to finish that one at the end.
Looked a little bit like Travion Henderson the other night, getting the help from the Patriots offensive line. And the Crimson can tie it on the point after. So Exavea Bascon finds the end zone for the 6th time this season. All have been on the ground. And Kieran Kaur will look to tie it up. He does. Harvard returns serve in this opening quarter after Penn went down the field to score 7. Harvard does the same thing. Level, 7 apiece. 5:52 to go in the first. 8 days ago, Harvard made its biannual trek to Robert Kraft Field at Wien Stadium, and the Columbia Lions, has been a star-crossed season for them. A couple of first-half turnovers really helped turn the tide in that game. Sean Lyon had an interception. That was the pick from Jack Donahoe, and then Jaden Craig. A couple of touchdown passes. This was the most fun one of the night for the Crimson. A little tip drill volleyball set caught by Gil Martin, who had 2 touchdown receptions in the game. And Harvard, in its closest game of the season by final score, still won by 17. It was 31-14, clinching an 8-0 start for the first time since 2015, another 8-win campaign. Harvard might have scored more, but at times they barely had the football. You see the time of possession advantage for the Lions, and big nights for Gil Martin and Bascon, 2 touchdowns each. And you're pointing out that time of possession, and that's an area for the Harvard defense that they would like to tidy up, that they couldn't get Columbia off the field as much as they wanted.
Well, I'm sure that's a priority today.
Well, when we talked to head coach Ray Priori from Penn, he said, we want to score slowly. We want to win that time of possession battle, keep the Harvard offense off the field, and it wasn't necessarily the slowest drive as they marched down the field for the first time, but they're certainly happy with the 7 points that they put up to start the game.
They know they have to score points, but when they're not scoring points, they have to bleed the clock.
Penn runs a heavy RPO offense. They did it under their former offensive coordinator, Dan Swanstrom, and they're now doing it under Greg Kimera, who's in his 2nd year in that role for Coach Priori. Fake the handoff and a dish over to B.C. Owens, and he gets smashed down immediately by Sean Lyon. Only a pickup of 1.
Basically a perimeter screen, and Harvard hit it downhill, hit it hard and fast.
It wasn't Richardson who had the big receiving game against Harvard last year. It was Owens. He caught 3 passes for 107 yards, and 2 of those went for touchdowns. You saw at the top of the broadcast, he had a 66-yard catch and run to help give Penn a lead. On 2nd down to the outside, again going for Owens. Did he pull that one off the turf? Officials say yes, he made the catch at the 39, and a gain of 13 yards to Owens.
Well, one thing they're doing a good job of, they're changing tempo, and the quarterback is changing launch points. They don't know how to blitz them necessarily.
Harvard jumped offside here.
Going to be a freebie here.
Looking for Richardson, and it's incomplete, but the flag comes in. Henderson's going to get called for pass interference. So it's a 2-for-1 for the Quakers. They're going to pick up 15. It's interesting, all the completions have gone to one man in B.C. Owens, but they've thrown Richardson's way a couple of times.
Well, eventually they got to get the ball to Richardson, but to be able to distribute it well and be moving the ball up and down the field is pretty safe.
That penalty is declined. Pass interference. Defense, number 7. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Harvard called for the penalty. They are the least penalized team in the country, and Penn is one of the most penalized teams, at least in the Ivy League, right around 100 in the country in penalties and penalty yardage. And you can see the early contact from Henderson, who had to come out of last week's game with an injury late, but obviously not enough to keep him out of this game.
Empty set doesn't mean the quarterback can't run the ball.
Looking to pass initially, and O'Brien all day to throw. Now he tucks it down, he throws for Owens, and it's broken up. Austin Guillory on the pass breakup.
Great coverage, had it covered the whole time, then stripped him at the point of catching it.
Guillory, a junior from New Orleans, has had an outstanding season. Had a fumble recovery for a touchdown on a Friday night against Cornell here. The incompletion is just the 2nd for O'Brien. And 3 wide receivers bunched up at the top here on 2nd and 10 from the 46 of Harvard. Quick throw to Richardson, his first catch of the day, but it won't amount to much.
Destroyed the perimeter block at the point of attack. Brought the safeties up. 2nd and long. 3rd and long now.
Well, we saw on your keys to the game, it was pointed out for the Harvard defense to double Richardson and don't let him ruin the game. So far, are you seeing all that attention going his way?
Pretty much, and that's why he's not getting the football.
He's lined up on the left side, single coverage right now with Damian Henderson. Again, Harvard jumps offside. It's the 3rd time today, and this is intercepted by Austin Guillory, but it's not going to amount to much as Guillory goes out of bounds at the 45. And so instead of the pick, we're going to have an offside against the Crimson.
Not the best first quarter Harvard's had this year. A lot of football to play.
Defense, number 59, in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
It's Jacinto Lopez, and it goes to a 3rd and 4 now, and they'll spot the ball at the 40. In a situation where if you're Ray Priori and Penn, you could say this is 2-down territory to pick up these 4 yards.
Absolutely. When you're the underdog on the road, I think that's the way to go.
Got a diamond formation of receivers to the left of O'Brien. And O'Brien will go right up the middle, and he'll spin his way for another Quaker first down. It just makes it look easy.
Yeah, they're doing a good job executing their offense. He's getting good looks to run the football. When they've thrown it, they've done well. They've obviously had some penalties that have allowed them to possess the football, but they're moving it.
Ray Priori says Liam O'Brien is one of the hardest working guys that he's ever been around. He's a great teammate, leader, friend, and on top of that, incredibly talented. And this is his first year where he's come into a season as the starting quarterback. He went in for an injured Aiden Sayin last year, as there goes Dante West. Getting him confused with another great Philadelphia athlete, as a spin will take him inside the 30 and a pickup of 5 yards to the 29.
I know Coach Larkey wants to stop the run here, so I can't see this happening all first half long. I think they'll make adjustments and see if they can really throw the football.
Penn has picked up an average of 6.5 yards per rushing attempt in this opening quarter. Harvard's rush defense is number 5 in the country. Go to the right side, it's Owens, and he gets to the 26-yard line, sets up for a 3rd and 2. We talked to Scott Larkey about that rush defense, and he was surprised that the team ranked as high as it did. He doesn't feel like they've really matched the standard to what a Harvard rush defense has been in his eyes as a good one. He said he'd like that rushing yards per game to be a little bit closer to 70. Right now it's 91 per game.
Well, there's no question that Harvard sets the ball high in that on defense, especially against the run. If you can't stop the run, you can't stop anything.
Timeout from the Penn sideline on 3rd and 2. So the Quakers want a little bit more time to think about it.
Penn,
need
we're
to
first
pick
to
up
the half.
2 yards
A full
to
media timeout.
advance the drive and continue to try and go back on top. 7-7, 1:45 to go in the opening quarter from Tim Murphy Field at Harvard Stadium. Great Ivy League rivalry matchup between the Quakers and the Crimson. Well, it was not a happy homecoming for the Quakers a week ago against Cornell. This was the play that really got the ball rolling for the Big Red. First play of the second half was a strip sack fumble. Cornell cashed in with a touchdown. This was the highlight of the second half, a 75-yard touchdown run from Dante West, part of his first career 100-yard game, but there was no answer for the combination of Garrett Bass-Sulpizio and also their star running back, as Triplett went in a couple of times. Trustees Cup back to Ithaca for the first time since 2021 and continued a great turnaround for Cornell. They won 4 in a row for the first time since 1999. And now on 3rd and 2, the Quakers trying to get to the Harvard 24-yard line. Penn just took its first time out of the first half. And it's O'Brien to the air. He's got a wide open Richardson who finds the promised land. Touchdown Quakers.
Great call and execution at 3rd and short there. Could have easily handed it off and moved the chains, but I'll tell you what, if you could have said we're going to have two scores in the first period against this Harvard defense, I think they'd go with that.
10th touchdown catch of the season for Jared Richardson. He leads the Ivy League. He is 4th in the country in touchdown catches. And Walter's extra point is good. Harvard gave up 14 points in the first quarter over the first 8 games of the season. They've given up 14 points in the first 13-plus minutes of this game.
Well, we talked about Jared Richardson, and everybody in the league knows about him. He's on a 1,000-yard pace in receiving, and he's not going to be a guy that they continually play one-on-one coverage against.
What's incredible about Richardson is that in high school, he was a quarterback and a punter. He had never run a route prior to coming to college. They discovered him at a camp for high school kids. They said, hey, let's put him out. He looks like he could fit into a wide receiver mold. They had him run some routes. He didn't get recruited by Division I schools, only by Division II schools in Pennsylvania, because all his film was as a high school quarterback. But they liked what they saw. They offered him. He obviously was academically gifted enough to get into the University of Pennsylvania, and it has been what a crash course and what a great place to learn to become a great wide receiver. Of course, Justin Watson, the latest great wideout to come out of this program.
Yeah, Justin Watson's still in the NFL. It's a great comparison. But these days, where are the best athletes? They're all playing quarterback throughout the country.
Jordan Harris is going to run this back, and he will not get to the 25-yard line. He stopped 3 yards shy, and so Jaden Craig will try and keep pace with Liam O'Brien and company and lead the Harvard offense back out onto the field.
You got to love Jordan Harris, boy. When you look at him, you say, he's not big enough to be a Division I running back, and he is tough, he is physical, and his teammates love him.
His offensive coordinator, Mickey Fine, says that height can be to his advantage at times because teams have a hard time locating him behind the line of scrimmage, and by the time they see him, he's already hit the hole and he's gone.
You could probably say the same for Exavia.
Bascon is 5'9" as well. And this goes to DJ Gordon, his first carry. Gordon is 6 feet and a rugged 205 pounds.
I think DJ Jordan's the biggest surprise among that group. First of all, back when we recruited him as a quarterback, but his toughness and physicality and his explosiveness is really impressive.
Picked up 3 on first down. And now Jaden Craig to the air, the outside, and it's a juggling catch pulled in right around the 35-yard line by Dean Boyd. Second catch today for Boyd.
Good throw, good route, good catch. I don't think they're going to let Harvard dink and dunk that all day. They'll play a little bit of more tight man and see if they can fit it in.
Boyd had big shoes to step into with Harvard graduating and losing so much from the wide receiver position, but they have not missed a beat. Of course, the signal caller is a big reason why.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the other part of it is Mickey Fine does an outstanding job working with those guys, quarterbacks and receivers.
Gordon tumbles down at the 38-yard line, a 4-yard pickup. That was interesting during our conversation with Andy Orrick. He does not micromanage Mickey Fine as far as plays. He never really tells him, hey, we need to do something here, something there as far as plays. He has so much trust in an offense coordinator that served for you and now served for Coach Orrick that he just lets him have free reign when he gives that play call to his quarterback. Craig on second down to the outside. It's caught by the speedster Henry, and Cam Henry goes out of bounds at the 42. He'll be about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. And that'll take us to the end of the first quarter. So the Penn offense has shown up today, scoring 2 touchdowns and up 14-7 through 1. The last time these teams kicked off at Harvard Stadium, 2023, and this was in the second overtime. Penn had a chance to win it, a missed field goal meant the game continued to a third overtime after Penn was unsuccessful. The two-point conversion drill, this is what you were talking about at the top of the broadcast. Roommate to roommate, Barcade to Craig, and that clinched the first Ivy championship for Harvard since 2015. It was a long time coming for you, Coach, and for this team. There was so much of an emotional release in that moment in that game. What will you most remember about it?
Well, anytime it goes to triple overtime and you win a championship, yeah, you'll remember that one forever.
It was your last time coaching here at Harvard Stadium. You saw that note at the bottom. Over the last 27 years, these two programs have combined for 20 Ivy League titles. Of course, Dartmouth has had a lot of success as well. There have been pockets for Yale and Princeton, but these two schools, more than any other, have been leading the way in the Ancient Eight. As a quick completion to Brady Blackburn on 3rd and 2 is enough for the first down. And Harvard will get a fresh set of downs at the 46. Crimson getting Blackburn involved. They threw a couple of deep passes in his direction. It's a quiet day for Blackburn a week ago.
Yeah, surprisingly so.
The game kind of got away from it being a passing game. And Mickey finds that we look down, he only had one catch. Craig stepping up, eyes downfield, it's broken up. Big collision between two Quakers, and a little bit slow. Looks like that's Andrew Bruce.
Officials timeout for a defensive
shaken
injury.
up. He was involved in that collision. Excuse me, that's not Bruce. Try and get a number as to who this is. Take another look. It's Ty Cortez, who's been an outstanding safety. One of the veteran pieces, seemingly one of the few veteran pieces in this defensive backfield. So while they attend to Cortez, let's go back down to Amanda Keene.
Hey guys, well thankfully Cortez is up and heading back to the sideline, so we'll check in on him as well. But when it comes to the weather, it is quite chilly down here, certainly not as bad as we've had in years past. But on this Penn sideline, they do have a heater going, and some of their players are going up, just standing there, making sure their hands are staying warm, because if you stand still, even just for a few minutes, you can get very chilly down here. Now, on the Harvard sideline, they don't have anything quite like that. I'm sure they have hand warmers and things like that, but this Penn team want to make sure that they are staying warm.
On second down, it's Craig. He throws for Osborne and just too tall for his tight end. Do you lose a little bit of the psychological battle when you bring a heater with you onto the sideline, Coach?
Well, I remember a day when we didn't allow that, and that's ancient history.
Couple of incompletions, and it's 3rd and 10. Craig to start this game is 7 for 11 for 54 yards.
Yeah, secondary has done a good job for Penn thus far.
Inexperienced secondary, some guys that were slated to be backups forced into starting roles. Jaden Craig fires, he's got Henry in a first down. A frozen rope, not to be confused with the freezing hands on the Penn sideline, and it's a Harvard first down.
Well, he can throw frozen ropes as good as anybody in the country.
Cam Henry, who took a couple of years off to focus on track and field and going abroad, back in the mix as a senior, and he has been the 3rd leading receiver for the Crimson this season. Here's Bascon, and boy, the holes are big up to the 38-yard line, a 5-yard pickup for Bascon, and his Harvard ground game is very successfully churning out 4, 5, 6 yards a carry.
Well, the easiest way to throw the ball is if you get a good offensive line that can run the football. Run, and then you can go for the big shots up top.
Crimson are averaging just under 5 yards a carry to this point, or excuse me, right exactly 5 yards. Bascon again, skips through a hole, and he's banged down at the 31. 7-yard gain.
I'll tell you, X has always had such a great feel for lining up blocks and finding where the seams are. And, he may not be big, he may not be a 4-4 guy, but boy, he's an extraordinary runner.
Oftentimes when you see feature backs, they might get worn down at this point in the season, but because the workload has been so distributed, it feels like you're seeing an extra spring to Bascon's step here.
A 3-headed monster.
First and 10 from the 31. They pick up the blitz, and now Craig will go to the sideline. He's got Boyd. First down and to the 11-yard line on a 20-yard gainer. Third catch of the day for the senior Boyd. And Harvard is once again knocking on the door.
Well, first of all, really great protection, but even if he didn't have a receiver open, he had a great opportunity to run the football there.
Harvard going no huddle. And a little shovel pass. Bascon's got blocking, surges forward, touchdown! Second score of the day for Bascon. This one through the air. And Harvard responds again to the Penn touchdown with one of its own.
Really great job. Really great job in terms of down 14 there. Hey, then down 7 here. And again, Harvard's been able to put points on the board. They've got a great balanced attack, and this is going to be a really interesting, fun game.
Course point after is perfect. Back level again. Exavea Bascon showing the strength to shed off the tacklers on an 11-yard run. 14-14.
Welcome back inside Harvard Stadium, and this Penn Quakers team has had the misfortune to have been bitten by the injury bug, and it started very early in the year. In summer camp, they had 2 players going down, and that just started an avalanche of injuries. The Quakers defense especially impacted. Their backfield and cornerbacks had injuries. Their captain went down at one point, and the list goes on. Coach Ray Priori said that because of that, their defense is young, and a lot of guys are in positions that they wouldn't otherwise be in, but he's so proud of the way that they have stepped up. And unfortunately, when they went and played at Columbia earlier in the year, they had 4 players go down with lower leg injuries. It's just one of those seasons that they've been bitten by this bug, so they're hoping to keep everybody healthy and finish this season strong. And so far, guys, you can't really tell.
Yes, defenses for both teams has been optional, as this kick will be returned a yard deep in the end zone from Jaden Drayton, and he'll slice his way out to the 23-yard line. You know, speaking of injury bugs and biting, he said about his team, they're going to keep fighting. He said, we got a bunch of pit bulls out there. They're going to bite and not let go, is how he described his team, which is probably the perfect mentality for a team from Philadelphia. Well, this is not the only important game, of course, going on in the Ivy League. There is a big one going on in New Jersey. Right now, Yale is lining up for a field goal to try and draw even with Princeton. And let's take a look here. Are we tied? We are. So this game and the Yale-Princeton game, we are level. And that game is important for a few reasons. Penn also interested in that game, as Harvard is rooting for Princeton to take that one, and so is Penn, because they want everybody to end up with 2 losses to have a chance at an Ivy championship.
Harvard rooting for Princeton, boy, you don't see that often in a sentence.
If Princeton defeats Yale and Harvard defeats Penn, then the Crimson would clinch the outright Ivy championship and a trip to the FCS playoffs with the automatic bid, as O'Brien will take this about a yard or so shy of the line to gain. If Penn beats Harvard today, and that result Princeton over Yale, it would mean that Penn's chances at a share of an Ivy title next week are still alive. That would, of course, involve Yale defeating Harvard. 3rd and 1. Teams have been perfect on 3rd down today. O'Brien to the air. It's caught by Owens for a first down. BC Owens has been just about automatic today, having another big day against the Harvard defense.
Well, that's an interesting call when it's 3rd down and a foot. Very, very impressive, mixing it up.
Greg Kimera keeping a lot of the same things as far as the RPO game from Coach Swanstrom before he departed on to Cornell. Here's the running play, and it will be positive pickup all the way to the 43. 5-yard gainer there for Dante West. And let's talk a little bit about Dante West, because Ray Priori, this team lost Malachi Hosley, the Ivy League Offensive Player of the Year. He transferred to Georgia Tech, where he is a stud for an excellent Yellow Jackets team. That's a really tough loss. And Julian Stokes, who was the primary running back after converting to that position this year, he got hurt a few weeks ago. And Dante West has just been building and building. Last week, 125 yards, his first career 100-yard game, and Ray Priori says he can be the next great running back for the Quakers. Oh, there is a busted coverage and a wide-open completion. It's Tommy Lafayette all the way to the Harvard 15-yard line.
I think this may be coming back.
Got a flag at midfield. If it stands, it would be a pickup of close to 40 yards. Lafayette, a freshman third-string running back.
Offense, number 75, 5-yard penalty, second down.
But illegal man downfield, Luke Sacchetti, the left guard, and that is going to take away a huge play.
That's a tough one.
See if we can get a look at 75. Yeah, you can see he's certainly more than a yard downfield before that pass is thrown.
Yeah, when you talk play action pass and you don't have anybody in front of you, you want to do your best to just sort of stay in put.
Tough instincts to quell. So it's 2nd and 10 back at the 38. O'Brien keeping it, throwing. Richardson plastered immediately. Big hit from Duke Bradley, the senior from Springfield, Ohio, who Scott Larkey says, I'm really proud of him and the snaps that he has earned this season.
Well, this is what he wants. You want to get him in 3rd and long here.
Got back to the line of scrimmage before that penalty. Looking to get to the 48-yard line. There's Owens in motion. O'Brien on the move, throws for Owens, and another first down, guided out of bounds by Guillory. But he's at midfield on a pickup of 7.
Been really impressed with their pass game. They've changed the launch points multiple times. It's tough to set up a blitz when you don't know if you're going to sprint out, if you're going to run the football or stay in the pocket.
It's so tough, too, when they've got not one stud wide receiver. They have 2 guys, so you can't just devote all your resources to Richardson and say, make somebody else beat us, because somebody else, if they're BC Owens, they're going to beat you. Tight end in motion. It's a quarterback keeper, and skipping out of a tackle from line, O'Brien. Oh, what a run by the former lacrosse player. Face dodging and working his way to the 37 of Harvard.
Well, I think thus far the biggest surprise, if you will, is their ability to consistently move the football in a lot of different ways.
This Harvard defense, number 1 in the nation in scoring defense, number 3 by yardage. And so far in this game, they have yielded 145 yards to the Quakers, an average of 6.3 yards per play. Coming into the game, that number was 4.2 per play to the first 8 opponents. O'Brien chucking deep. He's looking for Owens, and it's through his hands. There was a lot of contact there.
Solid throw, double covered, a little bit of contact.
It looked like he pointed back toward the sun, and that can be a factor this time of day going in this direction.
And I think we might have another defensive back down here.
Let's see, Owens went to the sideline after this and is getting looked at. 2nd and 10 from the 37.
Okay, another empty set here. Quarterback draw possibly.
Harvard trying to get organized defensively. O'Brien quick out to the tight end Jack Donnelly, and the Greater Philadelphia native punishing Crimson players and finally escorted out of bounds, but not before he gets to the 19, and it's a pickup of 18.
Good job on the screen. Got everybody blocked. 1st and 10.
Longest career reception for Donnelly, who only had 3 in his career for 15 yards, but the Doylestown, Pennsylvania native jumping into this role. His dad was a former football player at the University of New Hampshire, back in New England, and making a big impact on this drive. In the red zone, it's West. Big push from that offensive line, and West will get inside the 14.
I think the thing we're seeing a little bit today, which is you haven't really seen to this point in the season, is your offensive line's getting a really good push up front.
We'll look at Jared Richardson. He was saying, I had 6 more right there in front of me. You always got to look out for number 17. He's in the backfield right now, along with Lafayette. They fake the handoff to him. Oh, here comes the pressure from DeGreek. Staying alive, throwing for the end zone. It's just shy of it, and coming back, it's Davis Ellis.
Really good job on the coverage, and quarterback just kept it alive and made a play. Really impressed with the pass game relative to what their statistics are coming into the game.
The slippery nature of Liam O'Brien has given the Crimson all sorts of headaches in this first half. And for Ellis, his 12th catch of the season, he's had 1 or 2 receptions in every game he's played. O'Brien will throw it. This will be a running play to Richardson, and he bangs himself down to the 1. The lateral to Richardson. And 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line for the Quaker offense.
Again, really good job distributing the ball, making Harvard defend the entire field here, and 1st and goal from the 3-inch line.
Earlier, Dante West went in from the 1. He's to the left of O'Brien. Long drive for the Quakers. It's West again, untouched to the end zone. Touchdown, Penn. Dante West has 2 of them, and the Quakers leapfrog back in front.
Again, a lot of football to play, but I think this is as good as Penn could have possibly asked for. Offense, defense, special teams thus far.
There has been no resistance from either defense. And Mason Walters will look to put Penn up by 7 for the 3rd time today. And he does. 21-14. The Quakers have come into Harvard Stadium and have scored the most points against Harvard's defense all season. And we still have time before halftime. Well, we still have a few minutes to go before halftime, but these are good numbers in the Ray Priori era. He's been the head coach for the last 10 years, and 43-6. If you just take Ivy League teams, he's 25-4 against Ivy League teams when leading at halftime. And big number if he has a lead going into the 4th quarter. And again, against Ivy teams, that number is 28-1. So Penn will look to hold on to this lead as much as possible. We've seen 5 drives total and 5 touchdowns. We're still waiting for the defenses to make an appearance today.
Well, the thing I will guarantee, they'll get it. Harvard at halftime will figure some of this out. I think that's something Scott Larkey has done very, very well, but very, very impressed with this Penn team.
They are keeping the pressure on the Harvard offense to stay perfect by scoring touchdowns on their first 3 drives. Jordan Harris will return this one from the 1. And Penn special teams will not even yield the 20. So it's a 17-yard return for Jordan Harris. And an update from New Jersey. Yale, after kicking that field goal, they got the ball right back. And then from the goal line, a little wildcat with Josh Pitzenberger. Bulldogs, after giving up the first 3, they have moved in front by a touchdown down in New Jersey. And the Bulldogs in front. They like the result that they're seeing today at Harvard Stadium so far. We'll see how they proceed as Bascon with his undershirt getting tugged, and Lista finally ushers him toward the Penn bench.
Good change up there by Penn. They brought the blitz with the corner and had to play the safety over the top.
8-yard gain for Exavea Bascon. Bascon today, 9 carries, 46 yards, and a touchdown run. He also has a touchdown catch. Craig whips it wide of Osborne.
Yeah, that's not something you see every day from Jaden Craig. He usually puts that as a layup. That's usually right on the money.
Again, Harvard playing without Seamus Gilmartin today.
Definitely leave, probably one of their best receivers and certainly their top tight end, Logan Rieska, very physical guy, number 42. Very tough guy, probably not the biggest down the threat guy as some of the other tight ends.
Does have 8 catches, but yeah, big body used for blocking primarily. They go to the air. Outside, it's Blackburn, makes the catch and tries to make Drayton miss. Good recovery by Jaden Drayton. Otherwise, that would have gone for a lot more. As it is, it takes Harvard to the 42-yard line. Crimson coming in 5-0 in the Ivy League, Penn 3-2. Yale is right between the two at 4-1 here in the Ancient Eight.
Again, Jaden Craig makes that field throw look very easy.
On first down, a little trickery, Blackburn. Oh, he will go nowhere, sniffed out. It's Jake Davis, the senior from Wall, New Jersey. The tackle in the backfield and a loss back to the 36.
Yeah, good job by Penn wiring that one up.
Jake Davis, son of Scott Davis, played in the NFL for the Giants and the Atlanta Falcons, played his college football at the University of Iowa.
Genetics are real.
I think so. And it's a loss of 5. Now Craig goes to that wide side and he finds Tatterstall.
A good read by Jaden Craig, but I'll tell you what, they had all 3 receivers wide open in that particular route.
Those Ivy standings where they are entering the day. Couple of games going on simultaneous with this one. The Dartmouth-Cornell game started at 1. So we'll keep you abreast of what's going on the second to last weekend of regular season play in the Ivy League.
Showed blitz, didn't come.
Harris spun back, and again it's Davis. Twice on this series making plays in the backfield. And the first time today we will see a punting unit, and not many would have put their money on Harvard being the first team to trot out the punter.
Again, very, very impressive first
the 2-minute
half
timeout.
for Penn offensively and defensively.
The Quakers will have 2 timeouts at their disposal as we've hit the 2-minute timeout. Penn on top by 7 and looking for more after the punts. One of the niggling questions that has been asked of Harvard, their gaudy record, is the strength of schedule, and it has not been strong. Of course, that changes the last 2 games of the season. The first 8 opponents of the season had a winning percentage of .343 for Harvard. The last 2, Penn and Yale, it's .688. So seeing Harvard getting tested by teams that it's not been accustomed over the course of the year. And here we go. Harvard's not going to punt on 4th and 6. They have the offense out there.
Timeout.
And Ray Priori calls a
Second
timeout.
of the half. 30
Yeah,
seconds.
that's an interesting stat, but I think the reality is that Harvard has always found a way. If you look at the last 2 seasons going into the second half, they had to go to triple overtime to get the win. Last year, again, like they are right now, Harvard was down two scores, not just one score. So I think the reality is that Harvard's been a great second half team. Their kids, like all the kids in this league, are tough kids mentally and physically. And I don't think they're ever surprised when you're playing a Yale team or a Penn team that you're playing against great players and great coaches, and nothing's going to come easy.
There's the numbers that we were talking about. You a little surprised they're going for it at this part of the field, their own 46?
I will admit, a little bit.
4th and 6. Craig loops that over the middle. It's dropped. Would have been an interception, but wouldn't have mattered. Probably better that he dropped it. It was in and out of the hands of Cole Olstein, the linebacker, and so turnover on downs, and Penn will have great field position at the 47 of the Crimson.
I think Cole's going to tell his coach that, yeah, coach, I was trying to drop it.
Trying to loop that in for Osborne. Did not put enough on it. You can see it was an off-balance throw from Craig. And the Penn offense will look to keep on rolling.
Yeah.
Harvard, this is the time for their defense to step up.
Stating the obvious, this is time for the defense to step up.
O'Brien will beckon West, and he gives it to his running back. Good blocking on the outside, but again, Sean Line takes him down out of bounds. Let's go back down to the field to Amanda.
Hey guys, I got to tell you, I was just standing on the sideline next to Liam O'Brien, the quarterback here for the Quakers, and although he's having his way with the Harvard defense, he's not coming away unscathed. His right knee is all taped up because it has blood on it. His knuckles on his throwing hand are all bloody. He's got blood on his undershirt. He's a mess, but it does not seem to be fazing him one bit.
It's probably inspiring his teammates as he drops back to pass and fires for Ellis, who hauls it in. Davis Ellis with his second catch of the day and another Penn first down.
Yeah, I think the secondary is giving them a little bit of space. I think they really respect the speed on the perimeter with the receivers, so it'll be interesting here. But Harvard's given a lot of layups.
Push it forward, trying to burn some of that clock. Penn has one more timeout remaining. What's notable, Penn has 15 first downs in this first half. Harvard's defense has given up an average of 15 first downs for the entire game to this point.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of an out-of-body experience, which I'm sure Harvard will get squared away at halftime.
Head coach Andy Orrick in a position that his team has not been in much this season, only the second game that they have trailed by any score, but see that number at the bottom. There have been a few guys who coached just a season or two back in the day that went 9-1 or went 20-2, something like that. So you think 16-2, he must be all-time winning percentage leader. Well, with a program like Harvard, that's only good enough to get you into the top 10.
Yeah, it wasn't always like that, as we know.
Yep. 2nd and 6 for the Quakers after Harvard used its first timeout. Trying to preserve a chance to possess the ball again in this first half. Harvard will receive the kickoff to start the second half. O'Brien, he finds his tight end, Michael Hegarty, the Needham, Massachusetts native, and it takes 3 Crimson to rip him down at the 9-yard line. Hegarty's 5th catch in his freshman season.
Yeah, another good execution of a play. It seems to be coming easy. It will be interesting to see what the halftime adjustments are.
They mark him down at the 10 after a 14-yard pickup. Hegarty's dad, Patrick, was a baseball player at Harvard. Son on the gridiron at Penn.
Pretty sure he's wearing white today.
No doubt about it. The Quakers are looking to extend the advantage. Under a minute to go in the opening half. 1st and goal. O'Brien lofts an easy one. Richardson into the end zone. Second time today for Jared Richardson. His 11th of the season, and the Quakers up 2 touchdowns at Harvard Stadium.
Well, got to give some credit to the play callers. They're doing a great job. They're certainly mixing things up. And the bottom line is that Harvard's in a little bit of shell shock, and I'm sure they will get that squared away at halftime.
Just like last year, Penn up 2 touchdowns on Harvard. They're hoping for a different ending.
I think I said at the beginning of the game, never easy against these guys.
The point after was blocked. It was deflected and no good. So they're only up 13, and we'll see how that plays out over the remainder as Jared Richardson celebrating again. He's got a 26-yard touchdown catch, a 10-yard touchdown catch, and again, pretty good for a former high school punter and quarterback.
Yeah, I think that missed kick could come back to haunt them.
That is the 4th blocked kick for Harvard this season. The 39th block kick they've had in the last 6 seasons.
Very impressive.
That has been literally the only damper on this game from a Penn perspective. Maybe you could say the defense giving up a couple of touchdowns early, but boy, Ray Priori, if you told him you were going to score 27 points in the game against Harvard, he would have taken that. They've got 27 points with 49 ticks to go before halftime.
Yeah, I agree, but at halftime he's going to say, hey fellas, it's 0-0, let's go.
Smith to kick it away. Riley Jenny and Jordan Harris back to receive. This will go over Harris's head into the end zone. Let's take another look at that point after, see if we can diagnose who got a hand on it.
Looked like a low trajectory.
So Harvard with the block, and again, we'll see if that comes back to bite Penn at some point. They've been bedeviled by missed kicks against Harvard each of the last couple of years. From the 25, Craig on the move, flips it out. Bascon heading for the sideline, wisely gets it out of bounds. Good drive starter, good improvisation by the quarterback, Jaden Craig.
Yeah, good first start to this. They're in a 40-second drill.
From the 37, he's got 4 receivers, including the tight end. Craig for the sideline. That's hauled in by Blackburn, and he's pushed out of bounds by Drayton at the 48-yard line. And it's a pickup of 15.
Yeah, obviously seeing a prevent defense from Penn. I think they're going to assume that we just can't let them walk down the field, play a little bit tighter coverage, maybe play some man, maybe even blitz.
Harvard still has 2 timeouts, 37 seconds to go.
I think even a field goal here would be a moral victory.
Blackburn! Oh, he had it. The ball came out after he went out of bounds. They're going to give him the catch at the 31. It's a 16-yard gain, and Ray Priori is asking, didn't that ball come out at the end?
I think that's the right call.
Officials are talking it over on the sideline. They're determining what happened after the play, and they're going to continue to let Harvard drive.
Harvard's going to take a shot here.
They get it to Henry, and he'll motor out of bounds at the 20, and now the Crimson offense with the passing game churning at its most efficient today. Take a look at that last play, the end here on the catch by Blackburn. It's all moot right now as Harvard continues the drive. This has been impressive. This is when Jaden Craig is often at his best in a 2-minute drill. Craig over the middle. He's got his tight end, Osborne, and he'll be spun down. Harvard will take the timeout. It's an 8-yard gain. Osborne playing on his senior day, former walk-on.
Timeout.
Crimson
Harvard.
Officially
There's
spots him at
timeout of the head.
15-yard
3
line for a
seconds.
7-yard
Please reset the
gain.
game clock to 22
They're
seconds.
going to have a good
22
talk
seconds
here.
on the game
They've
clock,
been playing
please.
Very soft coverage, sort of prevent coverage, and I wouldn't be surprised if they went after him at this point.
Well, when we spoke with the Harvard coaches, why is Jaden Craig at his best in the 2-minute? It goes to his poise, his calmness, all the things that you know about him, how he operates in the huddle, and the combination of defenses, as you said, playing a little bit more vanilla. And Boy, that is really inviting to a guy who can really pick his spots and fire it on a dime like Craig.
I agree with that. I think the second part of it is, I think in reality, in terms of their strengths, they probably are a pass-first team. And that can open up the running game.
Craig has been cooking on this drive. For the game, he's 17 of 23, 184 yards and a touchdown. It's Cam Henry in motion.
And here comes the blitz.
Craig looking for Blackburn and just missed him.
Pass intended to bring Blackburn.
Good decision. Bring a guy, see how they can play man-to-man and get after the quarterback.
3rd and 2. Harvard still has a timeout in its back pocket, so they don't have to go to the end zone or the sideline. See what Mickey Fine dials up. He's got Reska, the blocking tight end, in the game. Bascon is there, and they will give to Bascon. Right side, he's got the first down. Bascon barreling, and he's down inbounds at the 4, and Andy Orrick will use his final timeout. 8 seconds left. Chance for a couple of plays. Well, they actually didn't call the timeout. They spiked it. So they stopped it on the first down and
gives them a shot at a play and a timeout to kick the field goal. Take one shot. It's going to be close, but take a quick shot.
I saw Andy Orrick sprinting down.
Please reset the game clock to 15 seconds. 13 seconds on the game clock.
It's got to be a 3-step shot so they get another chance at it.
And they reset that play clock to 13.
All right, well, that's a horse of a different color.
So it's going to be first down. And now Ray Priori will call a timeout. Final timeout for the Quakers.
Timeout. 10. Their third and final timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
Let's go back down to the sideline and Amanda.
Now, the moment the officials put 13 seconds on the clock, Ray Fiore was asking for follow-up information. He was saying, no way, that doesn't make sense. So he called the timeout in order to discuss it with the officials in the hopes that they get this clock figured out.
Yeah, it's a little puzzling how this sequence has played out, because officially Harvard still has a timeout remaining, but Harvard had that spike. They put extra time on the clock here. This is a little bit of a miss, it feels like, to figure out the timeout situation, the down, the clock.
Well, I think the reality is you should be able, with a timeout still in the cards, you have an opportunity to run 2 plays. You take a shot in terms of down the field being inside the 5, and you also have an opportunity to kick the field goal. You also have an opportunity to come back and run the play.
And now they've readjusted the clock to 12 seconds. And you can see all the conversation. Justin Ackley, the referee, after his confab with Ray Priori, and now discussing things with Andy Orrick, and I imagine we're going to get an announcement here.
The game clock is now correct at 12 seconds.
Okay, interesting. Do you go for the quick throw here, or do you hand it off and have a timeout?
Craig will go for the quick throw and overthrows Boyd, the big target, 6'4", 210. And that will use up a couple of seconds. Well, Harvard must have called a timeout, even though we have the timeout there at the bottom, because that was listed as first down, and you saw the spike that theoretically stopped the clock, but maybe there wasn't a spike. And now they do list it at 3rd down, so it is 3rd down. So that spike did happen. They still have a timeout. Craig goes to his tight end rest guy. He is down inbounds, and there's the timeout from Andy Orrick with 4 seconds to go. Finally getting on the same page here with the timing and the downs.
Well, good throw, good catch, and good finish, good tackle.
Tackle by Lista saves a touchdown. One
Please
of the best
game clock to 5
tacklers in
seconds.
the Ivy League. He's got 4 games with 10 or more tackles. He's number 6 in the country in solo tackles per game. And one of the captains, the senior from Fairhaven, New Jersey.
So here. Well, here you got 5 seconds there, so you're not guaranteed to get 2 shots at it. So you either got to take a shot on the pass or not get the opportunity to kick the field goal here.
So Harvard went for it on 4th down from their own 46. Now they go for it on 4th down from the 2. It's a goal-to-go situation. Harvard needing a touchdown to try and salvage what has been a great drive to this point. Bascon in motion. Craig running to his right. He's got a hole and a touchdown. Jaden Craig putting the Superman cape on and getting Harvard to within 7 with an extra point to come.
Really good play call by Mickey Fine. Had an opportunity to get an extra blocker in it, and no question that Jaden is a deceivingly good runner.
It's his 2nd touchdown run of the season to go along with 19 touchdown passes. And the point after from Core is on the mark. So the difference is 6. And a Harvard drive that started with just 49 seconds on the clock ends with 2 seconds left on the clock and a touchdown, and we go back to Amanda.
Head coach Andy Orrick earlier in the week, he told us that he relies heavily on analytics when it comes to going for it on 4th down. He said he has never once gone against the analytics. If it says to go for it, he does, and obviously that has paid off so far.
He says the company that they use, they've gone over these scenarios as much as humanly possible, and computer simulations, all that. And boy, Harvard on 4th down, they failed their first time, but convert here on 4th and goal. They lead the Ivy League at 67% on 4th down conversion. That's 12th in the country. So far, it's working to trust the numbers.
Yeah, well, analytics are real, but I also think that circumstances, sometimes it's just go with your gut.
And obviously, both were pointing in the direction of go for it. Instead of taking the field goal, as a squib kick will be handled by an up man and will get us to halftime. Well, the difference in this game is that Penn's defense has stopped Harvard.
This is the end of the second quarter.
Harvard's defense has not stopped Penn at any point in this game. And here we are at halftime, a 6-point game, Penn in front.
Well, I would just say that the fans here and the TV fans, they're getting their money's worth, that's for sure.
Always exciting when it's Penn and Harvard. This year looks like no exception, as the Quakers are 1/2 away from serving up Harvard's first loss of the season, but still plenty more to go in this one. Quakers with the halftime lead, though, 27-21. We're back to Harvard Stadium after this. I'm Alex Vispoli, and Coach, the defenses were optional in that first half, but how big was that touchdown drive by Harvard at the very end of the half in the context of this one?
Well, I think it was huge. I mean, if you look at this rivalry, if you will, it's been, very, very tight for the last several years, and it's never easy against this team, against this Penn team, and this looks like business as usual to me in terms of, Harvard's 8-0. Obviously, Penn's not quite in that position, but the reality is 2 really good football teams, great first half, and will be a very interesting second half.
another reality is that the Harvard defense had given up no more than 14 points in any game this season, but Liam O'Brien at times, the Penn quarterback, toying with the Crimson as Penn has nearly doubled that amount here today. Just a mixed extra point, the only snafu. Harvard early on was relying on its ground game. Jordan Harris and also Exavea Bascon. Couple of touchdowns to this guy, Jared Richardson. Crimson have allowed him to get loose, score twice. Bascon, this was his second touchdown, a shovel pass, so a touchdown reception for the junior. And then Liam O'Brien looked like he was about to go down. The escape artist, he finds his wide receiver, Davis Ellis, close to the goal line. That ended with a touchdown. Harvard's trickeration snuffed out. This was the only defensive stop on that drive in the game when Penn forced a Harvard punt. This was touchdown number 2 of the day to Jared Richardson, but then at the end of the half, Jaden Craig led a drive that went 11 plays, 75 yards in just 47 seconds, went into the end zone on 4th and 2, and got us to a 6-point game. As we take a look at those statistics in the first half, Penn possessing the ball more than Harvard, perfect on 3rd down, 4 for 4 in terms of drives, ending in touchdowns. They played a flawless game offensively.
Well, I don't think there's any question about that, and I think the reality is that they had probably as good a first half as they ever could have expected. I think one of the things that Harvard and Scott Lucky does so well is make adjustments at halftime. But if you look at the last several games, they've all been incredibly tough games that Harvard has pulled out, one in triple overtime. And so hang on to your hats, folks. This is going to be a good one.
Andy Orrick watching from the sideline. His team had not trailed at halftime all season until today. Down by 6, and they'll take over at the 25. Let's go down to the field, and our sideline reporter, Amanda Keene.
Well, when I talked to head coach of the Quakers, Ray Bury, heading into half, he actually stopped his team before they went into the locker room, and he pointed to the scoreboard. He said, look at this, we are winning. Let's finish this game. And when I asked him what the message was to the team at halftime, he said, simple, let's win the game. Now, when it comes to head coach Andy Orrick, he said this defense wasn't tackling well at the beginning. They had a lot of penalties, some discipline issues, but as far as this offense, he's pretty happy with the way that they marched out and scored, and obviously the way that they're able to continue to march down coming out of this halftime with Exavea Bascon with a huge drive there, guys.
Yeah, 19-yard run by Bascon on the first play of the second half, and that is exactly the way Harvard would hope to start quarter number 3.
Yeah, no question about that one. Very physical coming off the ball. Want to run the football hard, then throw play action.
Bascon's up to 65 yards rushing on just 10 carries. Stays in the game. And first down throw. Craig is off the mark, going for his tight end, Reska. Coverage by Ty Cortez. Remember, he went out earlier with an injury. Great to see that he is able to continue to play here for the Quakers.
Good coverage by the Quakers on that one.
And that was the question. Could the secondary for Penn hang with Harvard's wide receivers, and could Jaden Craig pick them apart? Well, he did on the last drive of the first half, but there have been times where a couple of throws have not quite been on the money for the Harvard quarterback today. Crimson playing without Seamus Gill-Martin, their leading receiver, the tight end. On second down, Craig steps up. He fires and finds Boyd across midfield to the 43-yard line. Dean Boyd makes his 4th catch of the game, and Harvard's in Penn territory.
And that's what Jaden Craig does, not just throw the football, but he's great at understanding when to step up, when to run the football, when to move out of the pocket, and makes it seem very easy.
We've only seen Craig run it once, and that was on the 4th down touchdown. Gives it to Bascon. Reads the hole and gets to the sideline and out of bounds at about the 37-yard line, 6-yard pickup. And there's that vision and patience that Bascon is becoming known for.
Oh, he's always had really good visions, patience, and he's physically much stronger at the point of attack than you would think. But right now, they're coming off the football. They're coming off the football. They're expressing their will, and if they can run the football that well, the play action pass and passing game in general is going to just happen.
Neither quarterback has been sacked today. We have not seen a turnover by either team. As Penn brings the blitz, Craig will look for Kaufman, and he'll draw the flag.
Easy call for the official there. He grabbed him.
Josh Narcisse, the junior from Peekskill, New York, will draw
Pass
the flag.
interference. Defense, number 1, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Harvard will march to the 22 after the penalty here on Narcisse.
Well, if you look at the last 2 drives, one ending the first half and this one, Harvard's right back in the wheelhouse. They definitely developing a tempo, playing a little bit faster, and willing to throw the football more.
First down, it's DJ Gordon in the backfield with Craig, who's got wide receivers to his left. The give to Gordon. He goes right side, gets out of one tackle, stops, moves forward, and it takes 3 Quakers. A 4th comes in to bring him down after an 11-yard gain. DJ Gordon doesn't go down quickly, but he gets up quickly. That's another thing the Harvard coaches said. It frustrates opponents that he bounces from big hits as quick as he goes down.
I'm looking forward to the time where they give him the football and he throws it. Don't forget, he's a quarterback, but he's a beast.
Stays in the game. They marked him down at the 12 after officially a 10-yard run. They keep feeding him. Gordon gets tripped up across the 10. Tried to jump over a couple of bodies. And if he had done that, it could have gone the distance.
A good job by the defensive line there. They held the point of attack, and going to be a 2nd and long.
Harvard can pick up a first down without scoring a touchdown from the 9 on 2nd and 7. Gordon again goes behind that left side of the line and burrows his head down to the 5. And he'll be 3 yards shy of a first down. So the Crimson, they were stymied once on their drives. They scored it 3 out of the 4 times they had the football. Touchdowns. Looking to at least tie the game here, but first to 3rd and 3. It's Craig behind Bascon. He will not get there.
Okay, a little bit of a decision to make here, folks.
The question, with it being a 6-point game, do you kick it on 4th down? The offense has stayed out there on the field, and this is a terrific job. Drayton got the initial hit. Kadari Machin, the outstanding linebacker, helped finish it. And another 4th down, go-for-it situation. Harvard 1 of 2 on 4th down. The 1 was the touchdown.
Love the call by Mickey Fine here.
Looking to get to the 2 or the end zone. Craig, ball in his hands, rolling, firing, and it's incomplete. It was Ty Cortez who had the best chance on it. And for the 2nd time today, Penn stops Harvard on 4th down, this time inside the 5-yard line. And that has got to be a huge gust of wind in the sails of the Quakers.
Well, huge is the right word. Huge stop for the Quakers.
Trying to get it to Logan Reska. And Penn, a goal line stand to stay in the lead. And so now will Harvard's defense get its first stop of the game? Liam O'Brien outstanding in the first half, 17 of 20 for 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. He goes short to the left side. Owens busts out of the tackle and scampers close to a first down. BC Owens.
Tough physical catch and run.
That's his 9th catch. This one goes for 9 yards.
Interesting how this deep in their territory, playing with a lot of 5 receivers.
Again, they've got that diamond stack to the right of O'Brien. Owens all alone on the left, and Liam O'Brien waiting for a hole, and he'll be swallowed up. Xavier Agostino first to meet him, and it will be enough for a first down. They only needed 1 yard. Liam O'Brien today Big game for him. He is 18 of 21 for 157 yards. He's also run for 50.
Wow, that's that is exceeding everybody's expectations.
He's actually 51 after that last 1-yard pickup.
That's a 90% passing.
Hands it off to West, and he'll go forward for about a yard, maybe 2.
Rezone option there. Thought he might have kept it.
What's the key to defending the RPO game?
Well, the bottom line is that it makes it very tough on defenses, no question about it. But, you know, if you're going to play man, you got to be willing to make them run the football. And if you're going to play soft zone, you know the ball's coming out.
2nd and 8. 6 minutes gone by, third quarter. This time O'Brien keeps it. Here comes the rush, and this is incomplete. He was trying to find Hegarty, the tight end, but it was Donahoe closest to the football.
Yeah, somehow he got knocked to the ground there. Thought the defender played very physical against him. Didn't let him really come off the ball.
Typical efficient day for O'Brien, the senior. And it's 3rd and 8. Haven't been a lot of 3rd and longs today, it feels like, for Penn.
Well, that's typical Coach Larkey. He does a great job making transitions in the second half.
O'Brien stepping up, and he stumbles down at the 20, shy of where he needed to get to. They mark him down at the 19-yard line, only a 3-yard gain. And for the first time today, we will see a punting unit.
Well, again, we got a lot of football to play, but Harvard has definitely made some adjustments, and then obviously Penn's going to have to make some readjustments.
Santiago Sterla, who averages 38.7 a kick, and Brady Blackburn standing at his 40, waiting to receive. Gets it away cleanly, end over end, and Blackburn will be chased back and make a fair catch at his 37-yard line, and the Harvard offense will take over. Both offenses scoreless on their first possessions of the second half. Harvard another chance to come back on the Quakers next. Look at the Charles River, Zakim Bridge, and TD Garden in the background. And now a look at the most recent committee rankings for the FCS postseason. This was released a couple of weeks ago, so prior to last weekend, Harvard was not ranked in the initial poll, moved up to number 9, and we'll see how things shake out. Of course, South Dakota State, having lost a couple of games in a row, probably don't figure to be in that position when the next rankings come out. Of course, Harvard might not be in this picture if this score holds, down by 6 here to Penn. A team that's 5-3 that is trying to keep alive its glimmer of a hope at a shared Ivy title. After the first punt of the day sends Harvard back to the 37, Jaden Craig to the air, and that's broken up by Jaden Drayton, junior from Brunswick, Georgia, having a good game today.
Well, if you look at their secondary, they're playing them tight. They're not going to give them the layups. They're not going to give them the gimmies and let them move the chains. They're going to have to make some big plays.
Drayton was initially slated to be a two-way player, wide receiver and a cornerback, but because of injuries in that defensive backfield, had to take on a permanent DB role. He's also, of course, a returner. After Julian Stokes went down with an injury, he became the primary return man on punts and kickoffs. Second down, Craig trying to find a place to go for it, and it's behind Henry as Craig was getting walloped. Ryan O'Connell came in to make the hit.
Well, obviously Penn came with the blitz. Very impressed how well Harvard picked up the blitz, but you would have assumed you had someone open. When they've played man coverage, they've done a good job against the Harvard receivers.
Jaden Craig has a rushing touchdown in addition to the numbers you see there. Facing a 3rd and 10, Harvard is 7 of 10 on 3rd down, but again has not faced many 3rd and longs. Penn will drop 8 into coverage. Craig finds his man, and it's Tattersall for a first down.
Tattersall's not a guy we've seen a whole lot of this year with the plethora of really good receivers. Way to step up.
Tattersall went to the Wilmington Friends School where his dad was a head coach. Same high school as Thomas Stevenson. Should be a name that's familiar to you.
He's a good man, Tom, for sure.
The endowed position of head coach at Harvard is incomplete, picked up off the turf by Boyd. And that will make it 2nd and 10.
You know, Jaden Craig just sets the bar so high. So we expect those long throws to be layups from him, which they have been probably 95% of the time.
He is 1 of 4 on this drive after, again, a nearly perfect 2-minute drill drive at the end of the first half. Fake to Gordon. It's Blackburn. Blockers in front. The Saskatchewan native scampers to the 40-yard line and a first down for Harvard.
Well, Jaden could see from the field that there was very soft coverage on number 3, the inside receiver there. So it's an easy layup and get some extra yak.
Well, he may not be Cooper Barkate, but he has become a really good security blanket for Jaden Craig this year.
Indeed. Okay, tempo a little bit faster here now that they're getting close to the red zone.
Fake the give again, and Craig is going deep. He's got Blackburn there. It's dropped. Knocked out of his hands by Drayton, who again on this drive makes the strip.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can't throw it any better, you can't run it any better, and we've seen them make so many of those connections this year. That was a great, as you mentioned, a great rip by the defender right at the very end.
Had it in his hands, and credit Jaden Drayton, 4-time All-Region athlete, honorable mention All-State, 2-way player in high school. Needed to have a big game going against this quarterback, and he has. 2nd down. Craig flushed out, goes to Henry, and pitch and catch, guided out of bounds by Drayton.
Yeah, just flat out good coverage. You know, looked around, nobody was really open, and took what they gave him.
At times, Craig has seen teams that will only rush 3 and say, we're going to flood those passing lanes and try and make you be perfect. And this is nothing new for Craig, but it certainly is a challenge. See what Penn elects to come with their defensive coordinator, Bob Benson, in his 10th year. It's a run. Exavea Bascon bounces to the outside. He's got a first down, and it's a tackle made by Brock Cornell, the freshman from McDonald, Pennsylvania. He makes the stop and prevents an even bigger pickup.
Very savvy bounce there he set it up. Okay, X went on the corner. He looked like he was going to run it inside the left tackle, then bounced it outside, and he's really good at that, reading it.
Bascon averaging nearly 7 yards a carry. He's got 80 yards on 12 rushes. Looking for the end zone. Blackburn got it and held on. It's a touchdown. 23 yards. Craig to Blackburn. And the Crimson have drawn even.
Well, we've certainly seen that a lot this season, and what a great connection.
We asked Mickey Fine, what is Jaden Craig's favorite pass? And the offensive coordinator said, any of those vertical routes. He loves throwing it to Blackburn, and he loves it when his sophomore wideout hangs on at the end.
The pride of Saskatchewan.
The Saskatoon native. And now the Crimson looking to take their first lead of the day. And they do. Kieran Kaur puts Harvard in front, 28-27. The 23-yard hookup. Craig to Blackburn for the 4th time this season, sending Harvard in front.
Oh, we got some punches.
Welcome back to Tim Murphy Field at Harvard Stadium, and setting up for another dramatic finish. 5:36 to go in the third. It's a 1-point Harvard lead. We check in what's going on in the Garden State. Saw that touchdown earlier from Yale, and that has been the only touchdown today as they are in that third quarter late. Yale 10, Princeton 3. The Tigers are showing some fight today. A team that has had kind of a star-crossed season once again, but Yale wants to keep its Ivy hopes alive. They've got to win today to do so.
A lot of defense being played down there.
Not quite the same here.
No, this is one the fans love.
55 points between the two teams, and right now the only difference is a missed point after for Mason Walters after the last Penn touchdown in that first half. Said that might come back to be a difference maker. Right now it is. As Core, a weapon on these kickoffs. We talked about how Penn has such a dangerous return game, and here we go, another touchback. Kieran Core this season has had touchbacks coming into today on 77% of his kickoffs, 46 out of 60 on the year.
That actually doesn't surprise me. When we recruited him, if my memory serves me, he had a 60-yard field goal in high school.
Winchester High, he is certainly got the leg. He hasn't really had a chance to show it in field goals, partly because Andy Ork is so aggressive on fourth down, but also haven't been too many situations where they've needed a desperation kick. So Penn was forced to punt on its last possession to the air and to Richardson, and he gets bodied up by Jack Donahoe, dragged down to the turf. Donahoe, Scott Larkey said, he's a big guy who moves well enough to play that position. He's 6'3", 210. Saw him get his hands on a couple of nationally televised games for interceptions.
Anytime you can hold a pass to 2 yards, you'll take that as defensive coordinator.
Harvard will rush for Liam O'Brien, looking to find his running back, and it's incomplete. Tommy Lafayette caught that in the first half for a play that didn't count because of an illegal man downfield. And this time, oh so close to what surely would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, well-disguised play, well-disguised, and it looked like at one point that's going to be 6 points. He's going to remember that one.
A freshman, and it's got to be agonizing to have that ball go off the tips of your fingers.
Yeah,
third down.
That's tough on a 17, 18-year-old.
Play clock down to 5. They get the snap away. O'Brien looking left. Hoists this one for Richardson. It's incomplete. Broken up by Henderson. Damian Henderson locked into Jared Richardson. All Ivy on all Ivy. And the Harvard junior wins that battle.
Yeah, once again, great coverage by Henderson.
Both players were second-team All-Ivy a season ago, and that hand up at the last minute.
That looked like a first-team All-Ivy play.
I think so. And Harvard saw Henderson get hurt at the end of last week's game against Columbia, and boy, Scott Larkey's heart skipped a beat, but fortunately, he was fine for today. Second punt of the day coming from Sturla, and Blackburn from his 29. Able to get out of one tackle before getting out of bounds. So Harvard will take over at the 28-yard line. Crimson have just taken the lead, looking for more on this beautiful fall day in Cambridge.
Welcome back inside Harvard Stadium, and before this game kicked off, this Harvard team recognized their seniors. If you can believe it, it's their last regular season home game and the last time potentially that they will see one of their most storied players in Jaden Craig as a Harvard Crimson here at home. But if you ask any of his coaches what they will miss most about Jaden Craig, it's not his arm, although that would be a perfectly respectable answer. They say it's his humor and just his presence in the locker room. this is the last guaranteed game that he will be playing at Harvard Stadium. And of course, the captain, defensive back Ty Bartram, also a part of the 20-member graduating class. All of his coaches talk about him as the most intentional leader on this team, never addresses the team on a win, but always well thought out. So those two, plus the other 18, all celebrated and will be missed.
Another senior getting the ball thrown his way. Dean Boyd had to play a little defensive back there as Jaden Drayton once again getting involved. But those two leaders, they are kind of they've only one captain. Craig's kind of the captain of the offense, and Ty Bartram, captain of the team. Those two have been exemplary Harvard men throughout their 4 years with the program.
Very impressive aggressive coverage by Drayton.
They give it to the running back Harris. Goes around and spinning. Cortez guides him out of bounds. We get a flag behind the play back at the 24-yard line. This might be coming back.
Yeah, that usually means offensive holding.
It's a pretty late flag.
Holding. Offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty, second down.
It's on the left tackle, Spencer Doan, who got hurt on the final play of the game last week. It was a bit of a scary-looking injury, but he was wearing a knee brace and ended up being all right.
To me, Spencer Doan's been one of the really great secrets. 6'7", 300 pounds, outstanding kid from Lawrence, Kansas. He's done a great job protecting his blind side.
So after the penalty, wide open tight end Ryan Osborne. He's off to the races and off to the end zone. 82 yards for the Harvard touchdown.
Well, we're going to hear the Ryan Osborne story again. I remember when he was up in the stands, and I went over and said, "Hey, I see you every day. What are you doing?" He goes, "Coach, I'm a walk-on. Can I play football?" "Sure." And the rest is history. What a great kid. #1 in his class out of high school.
The longest pass play in the Ivy League this season. Craig to Osborne, and it goes for 6. Now to make it an 8-point Harvard lead. It's good. And Osborne in a bigger role today because of the absence of Seamus Gilmartin makes his presence felt.
A little bit of a blown coverage there, I think.
I got a tidbit if you want.
And did you know Osborne, the tight end, had that type of speed to run away from the entire Quaker defense?
That's the interesting thing traditionally about our tight ends. You got to have a tight end that can do it all. The Kyle Juszczyks, the Cam Brates. Then you got to have the guys that can be blockers like Logan Rieska.
Jaden Craig showing off the wheels as well. He makes that 80-plus yard trek to the end zone. And the Harvard offense, 2 touchdowns on their last 2 drives after they didn't score on the first drive out of the halftime break. 14 third-quarter points. We still have 4:05 to play in the third. And you said it, Harvard, a second-half team. They haven't had to be this year because of the big leads they've had by halftime, but they are showing their class offensively. And Penn is really feeling it right now. Remember, this was 27-14, and Harvard has scored 21 straight points. Drayton will have a chance to run this back. He's got a big hole, and he's finally tackled across the 30. Tackle made by Isaiah Kazavensky Jr. And now we go back down to field level to Amanda.
Well, guys, I've been on the sideline with this team all season long, and they are so often calm, cool, and collected. But when that play broke out and the touchdown was scored, it was mayhem and just an energy that I have never seen before on this Harvard sideline. They were beside themselves, jumping out of their shoes, so excited for that play. The energy has absolutely shifted down here on the field.
Well, Amanda, to your point, Penn had all the momentum in the first half, and that momentum has officially swung.
1st and 10 from the 30. West gets the handoff, changes direction, spins off a man, and line piles him at the 35-yard line, a 5-yard pickup. Going into the Columbia game, Andy Orrick said he was a little nervous about how his team would play that game, an undermanned Columbia team that hadn't won an Ivy game, your classic trap game. He was concerned, is my team going to have its A game? Obviously, they jumped out to a 31-0 lead. They did. He said, I had no such reservations coming into this week. We've got smart guys. They know that this game is critical to making the next game even more critical. They are not looking ahead to Yale. He was thrilled with the preparation as Owens gets taken out of bounds for a first down by Guillory. And maybe defensively they haven't had the intensity that he would have liked in that first half, but as far as the offense, they have looked dialed in from the start.
To your point, over the years, the one thing you know about Harvard kids is, and this is something you can't quantify, but they're very coachable. They want to win, they want to be successful, and they want to learn.
And you once told me when you were the head coach that they will never lack for motivation in this short 10-game season, which may be longer this year. West breaks through the hole, still pushing forward, and it takes half the team of the Crimson to finally rip him to the turf at midfield. A 9-yard run, and maybe the best today by West, who's got a couple of 1-yard touchdowns.
Well, Penn had the running game going pretty well, pretty balanced in the first half, shut off a little bit until now in the second half, and they need to be able to be a kind of a dual threat team. They need to be able to set it up with their run game. Because if they just come out and chuck it, it's not gonna end well.
West last week had a 75-yard touchdown run. He split out wide. Empty backfield for O'Brien. On 2nd and 1, he'll take it himself. He's got the first down, and then he's met by Bartram. That looked like it was going to go for a lot more before the Harvard captain got to O'Brien.
Yeah, that's a free safety holding a defender to a 2-yard gain. Very impressive. Ty Bartram is a special player, no question about it. I feel like he could play anywhere in the country as a safety. So savvy, great tackler, never makes a mental mistake.
This has been a good response so far by the Quakers. O'Brien, he's looking for Owens, and that is incomplete, but the flag comes in. Locked up with Guillory. It'll be a pass interference on the Harvard junior.
I don't think that was an easy call. I don't think it was necessarily a bad call, but right from the line of scrimmage on,
Pass
it was kind of clutch and grab by both guys.
Number 0, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Guillory is talking things over with the officials. Look here. Not turned around to look at the ball, which is the biggest thing when you run into a guy on an underthrown ball like that. So often it is going to lead to the flag popping out in favor of the offense. This drive started on the Penn 30. They've reached the Harvard 32. Liam O'Brien takes it right up the gut, and he will push the pile forward to the 35, 36-yard line. Ball came out at the end there. Harvard's got it. And they're going to say O'Brien was down before that ball came out.
I think initially that's how it looked.
The ruling on the field is the runner's forward progress had stopped prior to the ball coming out. Second down.
Omari Gales was the one who came up with the football at the end. And Harvard might want, well, they say forward progress stopped. Let's see if we see anything to the contrary. And at that point, they say play is over. Didn't hear the whistle, but those are very difficult to overturn on replay. O'Brien on an option, flips West. Bartram meets him, and he's guided out of bounds by Benson.
I think they got to believe 4-down territory here.
Might not need 4th down. It's 3rd and 1, and today Penn has been almost perfect on 3rd down. 4 for 6.
Seen a lot of empty sets here. Coming out in an empty set again. He's going to look it over. Is there a layup throw, or can he get a run in?
5 receivers lined up. O'Brien changes the play. 5 seconds on the play clock. O'Brien, short left. It's Ellis. Scampers free for a first down inside the 20, and Penn reaches the red zone yet again today.
It's amazing how many empty
This is the end of the
sets
third
they play
quarter.
with and having to make that decision. We're seeing a lot of guys in coverage right now. when it's an empty set.
And the Quakers hope that this drive does not come up empty. They are down 8, but driving. 1 quarter to go at Harvard Stadium. Should be a fun conclusion when we come back. We're back in Cambridge. Penn is driving on Harvard, down by 8, start of the 4th quarter. But we're also keeping an eye on the Garden State and the Yale-Princeton game. Low scoring, and look at the effort by Ethan Clark to get into the end zone. A 1-yard touchdown has tied the game level at 10 apiece with 8:46 to go in the 4th quarter. That game's going to finish before this game does. And Princeton, their defense has limited Yale to 8 first downs in that entire game.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that going in, I'm not sure we would expect that score this late in the game.
Love our Crimson look-ins, and they might be looking to see what is happening here as Penn, fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. This drive started at the 30 after the long touchdown to Ryan Osborne. And William O'Brien, who's 21 of 27 today, 170 yards passing. He's also rushed for 63. He's got another empty backfield. And he's looking to throw. He's got Lafayette and a horde of blockers, and he's dragged down by Benson. A 1st down pickup. As they had a convoy there to allow Tommy Lafayette to get space.
Convoy indeed. They had great protection. They had great blocking at the point of attack, and good job finishing the run.
They really feel like Lafayette is another future stud. He's only a freshman, and they've involved him in some big plays. He's to the right of O'Brien. 1st and goal from the 7. Fake it to him. Going left side, Richardson fights off Henderson for the touchdown.
I'll tell you, fights off indeed. That was a very physical catch.
Jared Richardson, 6'2", 220, said, "Get off me," to Damian Henderson. His 3rd touchdown catch of the day. It's the 2nd 3-touchdown game of the season for him. And Penn will go for 2 to tie this game.
Big play coming up.
They missed the point after at the end of the 1st half. Harvard rushes to get only 11 on the field. And right now, O'Brien under center, which we haven't seen. He's got it. He fakes the handoff twice. He's got room. Running right, and it's incomplete. Knocked back into him. Christian Nwosu with the defensive play. And Harvard stays in front by 2.
Huge play by Nwosu. Huge play by the defensive line. Great coverage.
Not fooled after the touchdown to Richardson. The 2-point conversion try fails, and Harvard keeps the lead. The difference in this game has been point after attempts. The extra point missed in the 1st half, and then this ball just slipped out of the hand of O'Brien. It actually might have been a fumble, but it went out of bounds. Nwosu was there to provide that pressure, and with the 2 missed conversions after touchdowns, that's why Harvard has a 2-point lead with still a ton of time left in this one.
Yeah, Christian Nwosu, only a sophomore, has played really well this year.
He was a 4-year class president at his high school in Houston, and also earned his school's Best Actor Award as a senior. This is a guy who's well-liked, and he could have played up the role there. Like, I made the big stop at the end, but he's got the chops to do it as an actor and as a football player.
I don't remember getting any of the awards.
Maybe a couple of Ivy championship trophies as we got an onside kick try here, and it's recovered by the Quakers, but a flag comes in. We might get this going against Penn, but the Quakers have it for now. at about the 40-yard line. What'd you see, Coach?
Well, it looked like a perfectly executed onside kick. What the officials may have seen is different from what we necessarily saw, but I'll tell you what, it was perfectly timed. The kid went up and jumped and caught it. And what do what's the official, what do you say? Do you have just as much when it's in the air? Do you have just as much ability to catch it as the kickoff?
Kicking team, number 13, 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Kick-catch interference. The Harvard player who was back there to receive was a first year's. Let's get another look. And wow, what an effort, but made that contact. It was Akil Lamote for Harvard. And on the recovery for Penn, it was Sage Webb. But he was called for the kick-catch interference, and that is a huge break for Harvard.
Pretty well executed play, but the reality is that you got to let him have a shot at it, and that's why that particular one is not easy to pull off.
I'm surprised Ray Priori's visor is still on his head and not thrown down at the turf after he had a spirited discussion with the officiating crew. You know that Ray Priori, he wants this one today badly. Penn has lost 4 in a row to Harvard in the series. And right now the Crimson have a 2-point lead, the football. And the All-Ivy quarterback Jaden Craig handing off to Bascon, who stayed on his feet. Fought for another yard or two to the 37-yard line. 4-yard gainer for Bascon, who's only gone in one direction today, and that's forward. 84 yards on 13 carries.
Yeah, as we've talked about, X looks fragile, but he can bench press about 350 pounds, which is twice as much as body weight almost.
I'm definitely not going to call him fragile. Going deep, looking for Blackburn, and it's through his hands. Drayton in coverage again.
Well, they've connected on so many of those this year. Really good route, just didn't quite finish it off. Excellent throw by Jaden.
Officials timeout for an offensive injury.
Got a Harvard player down. It looks like Derek Osman, the right tackle, get looked at by the trainers, and we'll take a timeout. See Andy Orrick on the sideline. These are two of the few programs where you can have stats that go back to the 1890 and 1891 seasons. The last time Harvard averaged 40 or more points in a game, 1891. They're averaging 40.1 this season. And the last time that they had 30-plus points in their first 8 games, now 9 games in a season, was 1890.
The media timeout is not
I'm
ended
guessing
yet.
Not too many of those were downfield
We'll begin
throws.
the play clock on my signal.
Yeah, I think so, considering this place is the big reason why the forward pass exists. But the Crimson facing a 3rd and 6, and Thomas O'Brien has moved over from left guard to right tackle. And it's Enzo Augustini who has moved into the left guard spot on 3rd down. It's Bascon. They run to the left side, and he will tippy-toe shy of where he needs to get to. He picked up 5 on 3rd and 6, and there's no question Harvard will go for it on 4th and 1.
That's a real tough break with Derek Osman. He's been a pillar of support the entire year. Terrific football player. Very sad, very sorry to see that.
Senior from the state of Washington. 4th and 1. And Penn's defense needs to make a stop. They've stopped Harvard twice on 4th down today. Bascon has it. Offensive line surging, and the initial spot is that Bascon is there. He's got the 1st down. Not by much, though.
They played good defense, not good enough.
It did look like he got there before he was pushed back on replay, but Ray Priori once again unhappy with the officiating crew. Craig looking, throwing, Tattersall catching. What a play by the freshman.
I'll tell you what, that's an NFL throw, not just in terms of hash mark to numbers, but put it where only he could catch it. That is an NFL throw.
Tattersall needed to use all of his 6'5" height and that wingspan. They saw him at a Duke camp before his senior year. Then he came to Harvard's camp, had all the measurables. He was a high school quarterback, and they figured he could work as a wide receiver. They put him through the drills, said he's an obvious target, and he's made an impact as a freshman. Here goes DJ Gordon surging forward inside the 10 to the 9, and a 7-yard run for the sophomore from Indianapolis.
Yeah, really impressed with the second half game plan, really impressed with the run pass opportunities, and DJ Gordon down here has been money throughout the season.
Harvard is trying to put some distance between itself and the Quakers. 2nd and 3. Gordon remains in the game, and they crowd the line of scrimmage. Let's see if Penn comes on a blitz.
Audible here.
They do come at him. Craig goes for the end zone, and it's incomplete. Looking for Boyd, and Jaden Drayton. He has been in the middle of it today. Great coverage once again by the cornerback.
Great coverage indeed.
He has been up for the challenge today. Harvard hasn't shied away throwing in his direction, but he's made his fair share of plays. You see the score and you say, well, the defenses aren't having good days, but that doesn't mean individual guys aren't having good days.
And again, they're two good defenses.
Harvard 9 of 12 on 3rd down. It's 3rd and 3. Bascon again gets the ball. Busts forward inside the 5. He's got the Harvard first down. Fresh set of downs, goal-to-go situation. And when Harvard has needed those tough yards, they have not been worried about giving the ball to number 0. The offensive line has given him so much space to work with.
Well, the expression, it's what's up front that counts, is real.
Bascon again, left side, waltzes into the end zone. His 3rd of the day. Harvard jumps in front by 2 scores.
And again, great blocking up front.
I should say they're a point away from jumping in front by 2 scores. They're up 8 as Core will come out for the point after, but Exavea Bascon, 2nd rushing touchdown. He also has a receiving touchdown. This one comes from 4 yards. The all-important point after from Kieran Core. He's been perfect. He is 36 for 37 on the season there. Bascon, 3 trips to the promised land. Well, coming up next week, a trip down to the L Bowl, and last year it was not a good day for the Crimson as they came into that game on a winning streak of 7 games. They couldn't make it 8, despite the efforts there of Cooper Barkate. Yale came out of Harvard Stadium with the win. They've won this game, the game, 6 of the last 8 times they've played, and Harvard was forced to share an Ivy title with Dartmouth and Columbia as a result. Next week, game will be played at noon down in New Haven. And by the way, the Yale-Princeton game will get you an update in just a moment. As Harvard will kick it off, they continue to steamroll offensively in this one, up by 9, 42-33, after Exavea Bascon's 3rd touchdown of the day. Penn would love to get a big return here from Drayton and set up the offense, and they will not have an opportunity that Real powerful weapon of Kieran Core gets another touchback. And an update from the Princeton-Yale game. Both of these teams are rooting for Princeton in that game. And at last check, Princeton and Yale were tied. No longer. A field goal was made at 13-10. And you see just about a minute to go, and this will just about end it, it looks like. Turnover, and Yale will keep its Ivy chances alive with a win today in Princeton. As Liam O'Brien going deep, he's got a man, and it's broken up by Guillory. He was looking for Owens, and Austin Guillory put that hand in there, knocked it away, and forced the incompletion. What a play by Guillory. Those are tough wide receivers, tough customers to match up with man-to-man. Owens today is 10 catches, 62 yards. Richardson, 7 catches, 55 yards, and 3 touchdowns. O'Brien will run with it. A little bit of a hole. Line and Bartram there to meet him. 7-yard gain on second down. Need to get to the 35-yard line. O'Brien looking to do it himself, and he will be right at the line to get ball popped out at the end, and they're going to give him the 35. Boy, looked like he was oh so close, and they're going to give him all 3 of those yards.
That could have gone either way.
Well, Ray Priori says if you're going to give Bascon the benefit of the doubt on that play on Harvard's last drive, you better give our guy this push forward. Let's take a look. I'm not sure he got there, to be
Very
honest.
close.
Penn needs 2 scores. Figure it's got to start here. O'Brien on the run. Eyes downfield to the sideline, and Owens, his 11th catch of the day. And Jack Donahoe forces him out at the 43. Penn's going no huddle.
Yeah, puts him good in the second down situation, going no huddle here.
Puts the stress on the defense. Harvard always does a great job of rotating defensive linemen. We'll see if Scott Larkey gets that opportunity here. O'Brien keeps it. He's got 2 men to block in front, and this will get to the 48-yard line. He's got more than enough for the first down.
Well, suffice it to say, these 2 teams have given the fans a lot to be excited about today.
It's a development. We didn't expect the type of offensive firepower from both teams. Of course, Harvard back up over 40 points. That's less of a surprise, but hey, Penn over the years has shown it can be extremely explosive offensively. O'Brien with pressure finds West, and he's knocked out of bounds by Jack Kirkwood. You know, you go back to the crazy game that Penn played last year against Cornell, and remember it was 67-49, a win for Penn up in Ithaca.
Defense, number 0.
Well, you got 75 points in counting between these 2 right now.
A holding call on Harvard will give an automatic first down to Penn, so that happened downfield. And so the Quakers get that first down at the 43.
It's going to be 4-down territory down here with a 9-point deficit.
7th Harvard penalty for 75 yards, which is more than double what they usually have in terms of penalty yardage here this season. Least penalized team in the country has not looked like it today. O'Brien running right side, and he'll be dragged out of bounds by Kirkwood.
It's interesting how they run that quarterback draw, if you will, how he just sets it up.
It's not a whole lot of mystery about it. He looks immediately like he's going to run, yet still he's able to find those little creases and get positive yardage, this time for 6.
Well, to your point, less quarterback draw and just quarterback zone.
Sends Owens in motion and will keep it himself. After the fake to West, he'll be ridden down at the 30. Another first down run here. Remember, Penn had 15 first downs in the first half. This will be their 27th first down of the game. Harvard, number 1 in the country, or number 4 in the country, in fewest first downs per game allowed by their defense.
Yeah, I don't think anybody necessarily saw that coming. Kudos to this Penn team to come out and play this well.
This has been the toughest test for Harvard this season, and Penn, just like Ray Priori said, we bite and we don't let go. The Quakers certainly have not let anything go today, but a costly timeout needs to be taken with the play clock running down. Quakers need all the assists they can get, and they have to use their first timeout on first down. Well, to make it official here in the Crim Zone, Yale will go into the game with a 5-1 Ivy record. The Bulldogs will have a chance at sharing an Ivy title and getting the automatic bid next week. Yale moves to 7-2 overall, and yeah, in spite of Harvard running away with things over the course of the season, if these two teams go into next week's game, Harvard 6-0, Yale 5-1, and Yale wins, Yale would have the head-to-head tiebreaker over Harvard and would clinch the automatic bid from the Ivy League.
Well, that's going to be a very interesting game, as it always is, that's for sure.
Maybe the most interesting of the games.
More interesting than Harvard wanted it.
From the 30 on first down. After the timeout, O'Brien's going for the end zone. He's got Owens there, and it's incomplete, but out pops the flag. Another pass interference on the Crimson. This will take it to the 15 of Harvard.
I think Harvard may want to get a look at that one.
Defense, number 0. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Let's get a look. Guillory wrapped up with Owens. So much hand fighting there, and I think that's got him by the arm there, at right arm.
Right arm got him.
No question about that, and Crimson have yielded 90 yards to the Quakers on penalties alone.
Very unusual for a Harvard team.
O'Brien, right side. He's got Hegarty, the tight end, smashed by Zayden Benson. So earlier, Ray Priori told us we want to score and score slowly, but not necessarily when you're down by 2 scores, of course. Harvard looking at that clock as an extra defender out there, seemingly.
Well, 4 down territory, so they still could run the football.
If they do, it'll be with the wheels of O'Brien, it appears. As they send the tight end in motion, it is O'Brien on the ground, trying to stretch it. Flags come out. This might be a hold on Penn. They'll mark him down inside the 10, and O'Brien's looking for a late hit on Donahoe. And let's see how it's adjudicated. There are multiple flags on the field.
Holding. Offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty, second down.
It's Austin Zim, Naples, Florida native, whistled for the hold. Take a look there on the right side of your picture. Nwosu trying to break free, but too much jersey.
Yeah, too much jersey indeed.
So that'll push Penn all the way back to the 21-yard line, 2nd and 16.
Now they're going to obviously have to take a couple shots here.
Clock continues to run under 6 minutes, down by 9. O'Brien Over the middle, it's caught by Ellis. And he'll go down, get that penalty yardage back. It'll be 3rd down. They need to get to the 5 yards to pick up. Of course, 4-down territory. Although you could say, kick a field goal and make it a 1-possession game. That'll be the decision for Ray Priori if we get there.
I don't see that happening.
Andy Orrick joining his players, trying to get the crowd noise involved. Third and 5. O'Brien. Huck's right side. It's Owens pushed out of bounds. A 1st down and goal to go coming up for the Quakers. B.C. Owens, he has been open seemingly all day long.
Yeah, so impressed with the Penn pass game today.
They mark him down at the 2 on an 8-yard gain. He's got 12 catches for 78 yards. Again, not necessarily huge yards per catch, but he's come up with big ones. And it's 1st and goal for Penn. It's West trying to push forward, and Harvard stands firm to the 1, and the clock continues to move.
If that's read zone option, which I think it was, may have wanted to pull it.
Liam O'Brien, he's punched all the right numbers today. It's West again, and he is short again. Inside the 1. And again, more time will bleed off the clock as Penn tries to punch it in.
Great job by the defensive line.
4 minutes left. Quakers need half a yard.
Well, when you need half a yard, sometimes you might want to get right behind the center.
Pistol formation. It's O'Brien up the gut and in. Touchdown Quakers. Liam O'Brien finds pay dirt for the first time today.
Well, I would say the fans got their money's worth thus far.
And with 3:45 to go, this thing is nowhere close to being over. Point after away from making it a 2-point game. Mason Walters will make the kick attempt. Liam O'Brien is the holder on these kicks.
That's the right decision.
Of course, to make it a 2-point game, the difference, 2 failed conversions after touchdowns by Penn. But Liam O'Brien, much like a year ago, goes right up the gut from close to the goal line, finds the end zone. That's rushing touchdown number 7 of the season, in addition to 3 passing touchdowns today. And here we go. Another onside kick, you would imagine, although Penn a couple of timeouts and the 2-minute timeout. They could play it out, but I'm doubting that they want to see the ball back in Jaden Craig's hands.
Yeah, and it's not a guarantee, but I'm guessing that's what they do as well. I'm not sure we would have picked 82 points on the board for this game going in.
Well, as we said, Penn capable, but you wouldn't figure against this Harvard defense, which is one of the best in the country. But first, an onside kick. Sam Smith will kick it. Harvard has the hands team out there. There's the kick, and it's gobbled up. It's Riley Jenny who pounced on it. And that will allow Harvard to take over possession with good field position. They've been handing out Ivy League titles to just about everybody over the better part of the last decade. Everybody but Brown and Cornell have been invited to the parity party for Ivy League championships. Penn has not won since Ray Priori's first 2 seasons as head coach, 2015 and 2016.
A lot of good teams, a lot of great schools, a lot of good coaches. Harvard
is looking to put this one away with a good drive. Exavea Bascon dancing to the outside, and he'll tumble forward. Timeout Quakers after a 3-yard run by Bascon.
Timeout. Penn, second of the half, 30 seconds.
And Harvard, another explosive day offensively. And, well, this is their record when they reach that 40-point plateau since the start of your tenure as head coach. 55-2 since 94, scoring 40 points or more. And that's not a no-brainer here today with it being a 2-point game.
I can remember the 2. I can't remember the 55.
And the 2 were? Most recently, the Yale game.
Yeah, that would be it.
2nd and 7. Caden Kaufman in motion. Bascon again. Shakes off one tackler, surges forward, and great second effort by Bascon as the Quakers use their final timeout. Remember, they had to use one on the last drive before a first down play.
30 seconds.
That's why they can no longer stop the clock under their own control again. They just have the 2-minute timeout. And Harvard 3rd and 2. Boy, this is a tough one. If they do not get the first down here, Andy Orrick's got to decide, would we go for it on 4th down?
Yeah, it's definitely not, to your point, it's definitely not a no-brainer, and kudos to the offensive line there. When the defense knows you're going to run the ball and they've dug in, they got 9 guys on the line of scrimmage, that's a great run.
Feels like this is going to be a running play for Harvard. The question is it going to be number 1 or number 0 that carries the football? It's Craig, and Lista is there to bring him down. John Lista, who knocked out Jaden Craig with a big hit in Philadelphia last year, gets into the backfield again and forces Harvard all the way back to the 45-yard line.
Great job by the defensive line. Great job getting puncture on the quarterback there. And obviously puts them in a situation where they've really got it. They've got to kick the ball away, in my opinion.
The offense is staying out there, and it looks like they're just going to bleed this clock before calling a timeout. And it will be decision time. Boy, it's a big change if it was 4th and 2 versus 4th and 6. It changes the calculus.
Play a game.
Yeah, the book says kick it. I can guarantee you that on
and they take the delay of game instead of the timeout, which indicates that they're going to punt the ball. Going to see a Harvard punt for the first time today. It comes with 2:43 left in the game.
That would have been an amazing statistic if not the case.
There is a little bit of wind to the back of the punter, Dylan Fingers, who had the game-winning kick.
Please reset the game clock to 2:46. Put 2:46 on the game clock, please.
Give an extra 3 seconds here. But Dylan Fingers, dependable, cool under pressure. He is the 2nd-string punter who's had to punt the majority of the season because the starter, Brian Sheckley, has been out with an injury. There is no returner. They come for the punt, and they blast this punt through. It's going to take a roll back toward the 25. There was no man back to return for Penn. They had the punt block on, and Harvard fortunate to get that away. And now Penn will try and drive it into field goal range and win this game.
That was a nanosecond away from being blocked.
The Fingers, they describe him as cool, calm. Andy Orrick said he's probably a future president of the United States candidate. He didn't look perturbed at all, and now the Harvard defense, which has not had its way the majority of the day, will be charged with getting a stop and keeping this undefeated season alive. Liam O'Brien has been tremendous today. He goes to Owens, and it's behind him.
I think at this point, Harvard's going to put they're going to put 8 guys in coverage.
When you think about Mason Walters this season, kicking field goals 7 for 10, the longest 47 yards, a career high last week. In high school, Walters hit a 55-yard field goal, which is his high school's program record. But he would be kicking into a slight breeze. First things first, Penn needs to advance the ball. On second down, O'Brien scanning, darting, looking, throws, it's complete. And it's a first down play. Richardson muscles up to get to the 35. 11-yard gainer on second down as the clock will roll. 2:15 left. There you see Walters getting himself ready. Trying to get a play off before the 2-minute timeout. They do. Go to the sideline. It's Richardson bursting forward, and he'll get 8.
I think he might want to get that one out of bounds.
2-minute timeout takes care of the clock stoppage for him.
2-minute timeout.
And so the Quakers on the drive, charging forward, down by 2. You like drama? You're going to want to stay tuned.
Second down.
Now this is the leaderboard as far as Ivy championships. Harvard is trying to join Dartmouth in the 20 or more Ivy title club. Penn has the most outright Ivy championships, 13 of them, and they still have a chance. Well, I guess no longer actually, with the win by Yale over Princeton. That eliminates a 2-loss team from winning an Ivy title this year. So right now it's down to Harvard and Yale, but before we get to that, we've got a second down for the Quakers from their own 43, down by 2. 1:59 left. And Penn trying to get into Mason Walters' field goal range. Quakers are out of timeouts. Harvard has all 3. Liam O'Brien today, 29 of 37, 239, 3 passing touchdowns as he gets the first down throw to move the chains to Jared Richardson, who's having a great game again. That's catch number 10. He's also got 3 touchdown grabs. O'Brien gives to Dante West, and Harvard all over it. Christian Nwosu first to get there.
A little bit surprised at that call.
Minute 32 to go. It continues to run. A 1-yard loss. To the outside, Hegarty makes the grab, and he's brought down just across midfield to the 48. 5-yard gain. 3rd and 6. West goes out in the pattern and will come back in, and O'Brien changing the play as we click toward a minute. O'Brien heads up the middle, gets by 1, and he's banged down by Donahoe. It'll be a first down. He needed 6, he got 6. And they are closely approaching field goal range.
And that was close.
From the 42. Be a 60-yard attempt from here. O'Brien rolling, throwing. He's got West inside the 25, down to the 20. It's a 22-yard pickup to his running back. And now they are in field goal range. 35 seconds to go. Harvard will take a timeout. So from here, it would be a 38-yard field goal into a slight breeze, and Penn is charged up on its sideline.
Timeout.
Look at Jared Richardson.
First of the half. 30 seconds.
I think one of the questions here is, do you take a shot so you don't put the pressure on that field goal kicker if you can get a clean shot?
Boy, it seems like Liam O'Brien has had an answer for just about everything today.
Coming into the game, I think a lot of people respected him, but boy, he played up to it.
Now, notable here, it kind of has to be looking, of course, to the sideline or to the end zone, because if you run a quarterback option play, you don't have any way to stop the clock other than a spike. It's going to be a fire drill trying to get your kicker out there into position to make a kick. So
you got one more play, maybe.
Yeah, you got to be careful is the only point.
Right,
where you
no question about
continue your play.
Now, if you're going to chuck it and stop the clock, that's a different thing if you take your shot. On the other hand, that's a chance to turn it over as well.
Owens is wide to the right, Richardson to the left with West in the backfield. They keep it on the ground. O'Brien racing for that sideline, and he does get out of bounds, picks up a couple more yards to the 17, 31 seconds to go. Second down for Penn. Mason Walters has taken his warm-up kicks, and he is ready to go when called upon.
So you're looking at about a 30-yard field goal. Is my math correct here, Coach?
35 from the 17. Certainly well within his range. West gets it, skips right, slung down. Harvard another timeout, and a third down coming up after a pickup of 4.
Timeout. Harvard.
This is a situation Harvard has not found itself in all year long. And boy, if this comes down to a kick, the Quakers have to feel like we are due after the last 2 years. They could have won it in overtime against Harvard with a kick. It went wide left. They could have taken a late lead last year at Franklin Field, missed it from 46. And here they've now put themselves in position from right this spot to be 31. And not leaving Harvard with much time to respond. Crimson have one more timeout.
You have to think that they're going to get it to the middle of the field and then get the field goal team on. And again, it's one of those that you say, well, it's very makeable, but you're not the kicker. Well, here they go.
Well, they're going to try the kick right now on third down. They are not messing around. 31-yard attempt. Walters, 7 of 10 this season. The freshman, as they put it down, the kick is up, and it is good! Penn in front with 1 point, the advantage, 43-42, and 21 ticks to go.
Holy mackerel, folks. Unbelievable college football game.
Harvard was up 42-33. Penn got the stop, the 4-yard loss on 3rd and 2. Forced Harvard to punt. And the Quakers go
operator, please reset the game clock
inside
to 22
the red
seconds.
zone, march down the field
on the game clock, please.
And take the lead for the first time since it was 27-21. And now, with 1 timeout left, Harvard will hope for a little bit of magic here in the final regular season home game. And Jaden Craig, you wonder, as they put an extra second on the clock, will 22 seconds be enough to get something into the range for Kieran Core?
Well, to your point, it's critical that they get the best possible kickoff return.
Sam Smith will kick it off. We'll see if Jordan Harris will signal for a fair catch, regardless of where it's kicked. He will. And Harvard will start this drive at the 25-yard line. Now, if you're wondering, Kieran Core, the sophomore kicker, he's got a huge leg. You said 60 yards in high school. Well, he has not really tried anything like that here at this level. This year, he's missed from 42 and 45. His career long is 38, which would mean you need to get to the 20-yard line. But they know he's got a huge leg. Question is, can the Crimson get in position for him to utilize it? Craig, as they drop 8, Goes over the middle. He's got Boyd, and he's slung down at the 47-yard line. Harvard will race quickly up and get the spike. 15 seconds to go. That's a good drive starter.
I'll tell you what, when you got a Jaden Craig at quarterback, anything can happen.
You're thinking, well, what's realistic? You think 30 to the 35-yard line to give yourself a chance.
I think realistic is under 50.
Yep. Mark him down at the 46 after the 21-yard pickup. Craig scanning, flips it out to Bascon. He's racing for that sideline, and he gets there. Not a gain of much, and that's a win for Penn because there are only 8 seconds left. There are two things working against the Crimson: the time and the field position.
Please put 9 seconds on the game clock.
We'll give them an extra second, 9 seconds for Harvard. It's also third down, so they've got to factor that in.
Please reset the game clock to 9 seconds, please.
Penn sideline getting its crowd involved. Craig over the middle. He's got Tattersall, and he's knocked down at the 35-yard line. Harvard will take the timeout with 5 seconds to go, and this will set up, if they try it here, a 53-yard attempt
30 seconds.
for the Crimson.
Well, no matter what the outcome, this has been an incredible college football game.
40 yards for Harvard on a drive that started with 22 seconds on the clock.
Again, when you got a quarterback like Jaden Craig, boy, he really proved his mettle there.
Kieran Core was the #1 place kicker in the country. Chose Harvard over offers from Power 4 schools. Winchester, Massachusetts native has not had a chance to show his leg from distance in his career.
And his dad from Ireland.
He's hoping for a little bit of luck of the Irish on this attempt from 53 yards with 5 seconds left. Snap is good, hold is good, kick is up and on the way. It's got the distance. It's good! It's good! And Harvard has won the Ivy League championship for the 3rd consecutive year and the 20th time in program history. Core from 53.
If that doesn't make ESPN play of the game,
this is the end of the fourth quarter.
Nothing will. Incredible. That's one of those games where neither team deserved to lose. What a great college football game. They don't get any better.
The sophomore from Winchester, Massachusetts, whose previous career long was from 38, drills it from 53. And the Crimson come back to beat the Quakers 45-43.
Pretty sure we're going to see that on ESPN about 100 times. But hey, best game I've ever seen in my life, Nick.
It was Mickey Fine who was walking by, the offensive coordinator. The undefeated season stays alive for Harvard. And the Crimson will go into the game 9-0 and a chance for another perfect regular season. And already a share of the Ivy League championship under its belt. Wow.
I don't think wow even does it justice. Truly amazing.
And you feel for the Quakers. It came down to a kick on their side. They did exactly what they needed to do, but Coach, in the end, Jaden Craig with a couple of darts on that last drive. Harvard had the timeout at its disposal, and boy, it's just tough to defend when you've got a quarterback who can make these throws.
Yeah, we talk about Jaden Craig being an NFL prospect. Boy, when you do that under pressure, that shows a lot.
So Harvard is 9-0, 6-0
Unbelievable.
in the Ivy League.
Great job.
And Amanda Keene is standing by with Andy Orrick, the Harvard head coach.
Coach, how can you even put into words what you're feeling right now?
Relief would be the word. Just so proud of how these guys fought. Every single guy, no flinching on the sideline. Everybody's just trying to get ready for the next play, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams. I'm not surprised by the ending, to be honest with you.
What went into your decision knowing that Kieran Core had a leg? We've talked about it all season, but we've never really had to see it. How confident were you when you called this number?
I was very confident because I see him at practice hitting those every single day. We're in that position. We're going to kick the field goal. I was ready to kick it from the 40-yard line if we needed to. Luckily, we got to the 35, and that's just practice showing up in game because that's what he does in practice.
The last regular season game in this stadium. Your family's here. The crowd was one of the best crowds I think I've seen. What does this season come together for you? When the season has come together, how does it feel to be a share of an Ivy League championship?
It feels great. We still have work we want to get done. I don't no idea what happened in the Princeton Yale game, but we knew this was one of the steps, the ninth step, to get to the last one here. And now, these guys got to dig in, and we got to be ready for the next game. But to make that one as big of a deal as it needed to be, we had to take care of this one. So, unbelievable ending. So proud of the guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Andy Orrick sees his team pull one out in a way that they had not had to since last year against Penn. Remember, the field goal last year came in a tie game. This one came when they were down by a point, and these are the most up-to-date standings here in the Ivy League. Yale at 5-1, Harvard 6-0, Cornell and Dartmouth battling it out right now. Quakers 3-3, and Brown beating Columbia earlier today. Let's take another trip down to the sideline, and the hero of the day, Kieran Core, is standing by with Amanda.
Kieran, I got to ask you, when Coach put you on that field and said, go for it, what was going through your head?
Yeah, I mean, those are the moments you live for as a kicker. That was my first ever game winner, so really excited. But just to be able to get that opportunity is just a testament to our offense. And then snap, hold, and O-line, everyone just did their job. So for me, it's just clockwork, doing what we train and practice every single day to do. So, yeah, I'm just really grateful to have that opportunity.
When you chose to come here to Harvard, is this something that you saw for yourself?
I mean, these are the moments I live for. So, yeah, I would say so, yeah.
Great, and then I got to go over here to your captain, Ty. What does it mean for you to know that you have a share of the Ivy League championship wrapped up today?
Definitely a blessing. Job's not finished, though. We didn't come here to share anything. We believe that, and we're going to keep fighting and go 1-0 next week. So, excited.
And when you talk about your teammate here who had the game on the line and he stepped up and hit that kick, what was going through your mind?
Ice in his veins. Ice in his veins. Ice in his veins.
And now, how much are you going to celebrate this before you can turn your head to the game?
We'll enjoy it. There's a lot of things we got to do better. Defense cannot give up 42 points. That's unexcusable. But definitely enjoy it. Then tomorrow we're straight to work.
All right, Ty, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Ty Bartram, always cool, calm, and collected, just like his kicker. And the coach, unbelievable game today. Harvard facing adversity, down by multiple touchdowns in that first half. And when you look at this team, you have said that this team has got it all. They remind you a lot of that 2004 squad that you had Ryan Fitzpatrick as the quarterback for. When you have a win like this, what can it do for a team going into what is always the biggest game of the year?
Well, when you play Yale, it's always a big game no matter what the status. But the reality is this team has so much momentum. It's a great football team, offense, defense, special team. And to have a moment like that, they will all remember that forever. But now it's quickly on to Yale. Let's go, boys. And it's going to be a great one down in the Yale Bowl.
It's funny, Andy Orrick told us, if things went in his team's direction today and, they had the share of the Ivy championship, there was not going to be a big prolonged celebration where they were going to hold a banner and do all that sort of thing. I think the circumstances of how this game was won changed the calculus on that. Obviously, you could see it in the eyes of those guys what that meant. Just to get the win, they weren't even thinking about the Ivy championship, it seemed like.
I think I think if you fast forward 40 years, they're still going to be talking about this game because it doesn't get any better than that.
And you feel for Penn, you see Jake Davis, who had some big plays along that defensive line. Quakers did everything that they could have been asked for to win this game and get a marquee win. They haven't had a top 10 victory since 2015 against Villanova, one of the first games of Ray Priori's tenure. But you know what? They gave everything they had, and a classic Ivy battle between two of the storied programs in the Ivy League this century.
Yeah, we've always had, when I was a coach, we've always had tremendous respect for Coach Priori and Al Bagnoli, and just a great program. And, you know, it's going to be a long bus ride home, but those guys played their hearts out.
And, Coach, your rookie year in the broadcast booth has ended. It's been an honor to work with you this year. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. The honor is mine.
What a day today. The defenses had very little to say about things throughout the day. Penn was perfect in the first half. They put the pressure on Harvard. Jared Richardson, 3 touchdown catches. Exavea Bascon, 3 touchdowns himself. Harvard was undeterred. And despite Penn grabbing a last-minute lead, Harvard, the drive, and the kick from Kieran Core. Final score today from Tim Murphy Field at Harvard Stadium. Harvard 45, Penn 43 for Amanda Keene and Tim Murphy. This is Alex Vespoli saying so long. This game has been a presentation of ESPN.